Here we go then, a very good afternoon if you have just joined us, and welcome along to Utilita Bowl. It is Vitality Blast Day on a Sunday afternoon. Durham have won the toss and elected to bat first as the top two sides in the Vitality Blast meet today. Hampshire Hawks at top of the table, looking to try and extend their unbeaten run here at the Fortress, here at Utilita Bowl. And you can see right now on the big screen that our Guard of Honour are ready to welcome the players to the field. That is participants from our Brilliant Skills Challenge that we had earlier on today. So we have the likes of Burwood, we have Petersfield, Basingstoke and Northants there to welcome the players to the pitch. Give those flags a wave if you've got them, everybody. There we go, they're looking extremely good there. And of course Durham are batting first, so it will be Hampshire Hawks who are in the field. So that also means that when the Hawks make their way onto the field, they are going to meet the winners of our Skills Challenge, who are Compton and Chandler's Ford, who have their caps ready to be signed. So that's going to be an amazing, wholesome Sunday afternoon moment, which will happen very shortly indeed. So we are all set up perfectly. Sun's out here at Utilita Bowl on a sunny Sunday afternoon. Very shortly we'll be welcoming the players to the field. Durham to bat first. It is almost time for blast off. Sunday afternoon here at Utilita Bowl. It is time to welcome to the field the umpires and the players from Durham and your Hampshire Hawks.
Good afternoon and welcome to this T20 Blast again with Hampshire versus Durham at the Utilita Bowl this afternoon. My name is Amelia Clark and I'm joined by Tom Wilkinson. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Amelia. Looking forward to this. Should be a high quality clash, top of the table clash in the Vitality Blast.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic day. It's nice and clear, a little bit of a breeze, much nicer than it may have been on Friday.
Much cooler. We're in a much better spot than the people that would have been taking over this a few days ago. Not envious at all of that mid-30s heat they had to deal with.
Not at all, no. Well, yeah, hopefully it'll stay nice and cool and a bit breezy for us here this afternoon. So your teams, Durham won the toss and they have chosen to bat. And for Hampshire, we have Maya Bouchier, Georgia Adams is still captaining, Naomi Datani, Francesca Sweet, Rihanna Southby, Nancy Harmon, Amanda Jade Wellington, Pippa Soul, her Hampshire debut, Poppy Tullock, Eliza Bristow and Bex Tyson. So that is your Hampshire team. For Durham, we've got Holly Armitage, our captain, Maddie Villiers, Emily Windsor, Bess Heath, Heather Graham, Mia Rogers, Grace Thompson, Catherine Fraser, Sophia Turner, Trudy Johnson and Katie Levick. It's going to be Naomi Datani to kick us off. And Tom, do you want to take the first over?
Absolutely. Maddie Villiers will face up, two outside the ring. Of course, a deep third, deep backward square is Naomi Datani's first attempt at the run-up, unsuccessful. And she'll take this one back. Last time these sides met, about a month ago, it was a bit of a thumping. Durham winning that one by 32 runs. Home side will be looking to overturn that one as Datani comes in now, first ball. And this is just a thick outside edge. Misfield though at short third by Bex Tyson. And that will be the first run of the game.
We are underway, absolutely. So hopefully a good start. I mean, this very much is a case of whoever wins this match will either remain or go top of the table. There is only 1 point difference between Hampshire and Durham. Hampshire on 23, Durham on 22. So this truly is a clash for the top of the table.
Both sides only tasted defeat once so far this season. And of course, Hampshire losing to Durham, second match of the season. There's Datani in now to Holly Armitage. This is back for length and pulled. And a misfield on the boundary. And that is Nancy Harmon out there at deep backward square, gone through the legs, and the first boundary comes up.
Yeah, that was a shame. That was straight to her. She had plenty of time to see that one, but maybe just a slight loss in the sun, maybe, as she slid into that one. But it's still early doors for Hampshire. They won't be worried too much about that.
Not the best start in the field, though. A couple of misfields to kick things off, Bex Tyson and Nancy Harmon. But like you said, long way to go, of course.
Indeed.
As Datani will come in once more. Holly Armitage on strike. This one, decent length and just pushed out into the offside, which will be picked up by Pippa Sproul coming in from cover point.
Yes, so Pippa Sproul, the first touch of the ball in Hampshire colours there. She has been off playing for Scotland in the World Cup and she's making her Hampshire debut today. She actually was with Hampshire, but she was on loan to Middlesex, so she's been playing in Tier 2. And as Abby Norgrove has heard her call up to England A, Pippa Sproul is up in for Hampshire.
Not the only Scottish international return, with Catherine Fraser back for Durham. This is punched down towards mid-off by Holly Armitage, but no run. Been a decent couple of deliveries actually from Datani after a bit of a sloppy start, like we said, for the Hampshire Hawks. Couple of misfields, but right on the button with those last two.
Indeed, keeping it nice and tight. Doesn't want to give anything away here. We'll see Hampshire are missing some key sort of opening bowlers in Lauren Bell and Lindsay Smith and Freya Kemp all playing for England at the moment. So Datani very much stepping up into those shoes.
She comes in again to Holly Armitage. This is short, pulled away just over the square leg umpire Nancy Harmon. Bit of a fumble again, but this time keeps it away from the boundary rope. They'll scamper back for a second. It's good running there.
Yeah, absolutely. Nancy Harmon, I think, just getting a little bit nervous there, but did a good job saving it from the boundary.
Into the action straight away. And like you said, Hampshire in particular, Hampshire Hawks, missing a lot of key players. Obviously, Lauren Bell, Lindsay Smith and Freya Kemp away on international duty for the World Cup. Elma Cacken and Abby Norgrove with England A. As in comes Datani to finish the first over. This is short, just pushed into the offside, and that's gone through the legs of Pippa Sproul, and it'll be collected by Poppy Tullock, who runs round from deep third, and that will be the end of the first over. 8 runs from it.
A speedy over that was as well. The Naomi Datani sped through those. As you say, just the one boundary from it, but yeah, a nice start from both sides. 8 off the first over, Durham will be happy, but also 8 from the first over is not too expensive.
It's not a bad recovery after that boundary off the second.
Yeah, not at all.
But this isn't a fixture that's favoured Hampshire. Played 3 times in the Vitality Blast, these two sides, all won by Durham.
Wow.
So not a particularly favourable record for the home side.
No, but they'd be definitely looking to correct that now. We've got Bex Tyson coming in from the hotel end. She's just adjusting a few of her within the ring fielders because we are in the power play, so we're only allowed 3 outside of the ring. We've got Holly Armitage is just taking a moment, not rushing herself. Taking guard now, waiting on strikers. Bex Tyson comes in. She's coming around the wicket. Bowls, good length, full delivery, and she's bowled her absolutely fantastic. What a great start from Bex Tyson. That was remarkable. What a bowl.
Looked like it just cramped Holly Armitage for a little bit of room. Very full, right up in the block hole. And that is the perfect start for Bex Tyson. Wicket straight away. And that is the Durham captain sent packing.
Let's see if we get a replay on that. That was it. I don't know quite whether it went clean through or whether she chopped it onto her stumps. But either way, Holly Armitage has gone 7 off of 6.
That will bring to the crease, of course, former Southern Vipers player Emily Windsor. Knows this ground very well, knows a lot of these players in the Hampshire Hawks squad very well as well.
Indeed, I've actually commentated with Emily Windsor a little bit. She last year she had an injury. I can't quite remember. I think it was a hip or a knee, and yeah, I picked her up and we came and did some commentating. So I'm glad to see her back and healthy. Let's see. Oh yes, it just watching that replay now. Bex Tyson kept it really low and it just slipped through completely under the bat, took out that middle stump. Fantastic.
Just skidded on a little bit. And a 10th wicket for the Blast campaign this season for Bex Tyson. Spin very much been the key for Hampshire. Georgia Adams, the captain, leading wicket taker, joint leading wicket taker in the comp with 13. Amanda Jade Wellington took 5 for last time out with 12, and now Bex Tyson up to 10.
Yeah, excited for me to commentate on Amanda Jade Wellington. I've been watching other matches but not actually had a chance to see her now. So Bex Tyson in again, around the wicket, shorter ball, lofted up. They think about going for one. Emily Windsor is always keen for a run, and she was probably about 3 lengths down the track then when she was called back by Maddie Villiers.
Real drag down that from Bex Tyson, getting back into the rhythm after the wicket straight away.
She's in again. There will be no waiting around with Bex. Fuller delivery, or that will be going down as for a wide. Just slip down the leg side.
Important not to understate the importance of that Holly Armitage wicket. Averaging 50 so far, over 200 runs already for the comp.
Indeed, yeah, she can be quite dangerous as Tyson comes in again, and that was almost slipping. Yeah, it's gone down as a wide again. Maybe just the excitement of that wicket. It's just lost a little bit of a fraction of concentration, but I'm sure it'll be back in no time. Standing at the top of her mark already. Windsor waiting on strike, yet to get off the mark yet. Better ball, very straight delivery, and Tyson fields that one herself.
Real crunch off the bat, wasn't that, Emily Windsor?
Yeah.
Punched back, and good stop, like you said, outstretched left arm from Bex Tyson.
No hanging around here. Tyson in again, just behind the umpire. In and bowls, and this is a good full length delivery, and it's up in the air, and there was an almost half shout for a catch behind the stumps for Rihanna Southby, but it sort of jutted off out of her reach. Durham are 10 for 1. Two balls left of the over because of that wide. As Tyson comes in again, and this is again straighter, and it's a half wrap on the pads, but Windsor just manages to get a bat out of the way of that.
A little bit of indecision, Emily Windsor. Unsure whether to go forward or whether to go back.
Well, she knows Bex Tyson can be very dangerous. She can get that ball to move and push through quite a lot, a little bit of a skid sometimes on the ball as that one comes in again, dead straight up in the air, but out of Bex Tyson's reach. It's thrown to the keeper's end, but I think she'll be safe there. And that is the end of Bex Tyson's first over. What a remarkable little number there. 1 for 3 after first over.
Just one conceded off the bat, a couple of wides in there. But a real steal of a single that right at the end of the over. There was a little bit of confusion perhaps as Emily Windsor set off. Maddie Villiers caught short slightly, but eventually they both get through.
Yeah, as I said, Emily Windsor will run for pretty much everything that she can. So Maddie Villiers will have to try and keep up there. But they're a good partnership out in the middle. The run rate currently 5.5. We've only had 2 overs, but we're flying through them already.
Maddie Villiers is another player that knows this ground well. Was with the Southern Brave for the 100 last year, working with the likes of Georgia Adams, Rihanna Southby, as Datani will continue from the pavilion end into Emily Windsor. This is full, struck on the pad, looks like it's going down. They're going to try and run through for a single, and it's picked up by Pippa Sparrow, who comes through. So Maddie Villiers is able to get off strike, and it is indeed a leg by.
Yeah, that wicket just seems to have settled Hampshire a little bit. The fielding seems a bit sharper and everyone seems just that little bit more alert. I think, obviously, as you said, the previous matchups may have been on the mind, but we've just got a little pause as I think Maya Boucher is just handing the umpire something that must have fallen off of somebody at some point. Don't want to be skidding over anything sharp.
Found some bit of debris there on the outfield that you don't want to come across, as Datani will come in once again, this time to Maddie Villiers, back for length, and jags in a little bit there and just drops it at her toes.
Yeah, Datani's managing to get a little bit of movement off the strip. I think we were having a discussion before we came on air about this is the same strip that was used for Friday, so there's a little bit of wear in it. So as we were saying earlier, good for the spinners, but also these seamers, if they can get it to move just a little bit, start looking very dangerous.
Expect it will be that little bit slower. When do you turn to your variations? Have to wait and see as Datani comes in to Maddie Villiers again, down the pitch and flicked over mid-wicket. Nicely timed. It'll be Nancy Harmon coming round to pick that one up from deep backward square, and it'll be a couple.
I was just watching, Nancy Harmon did a really good job to run round there, but Maya Boucher had run from well inside the circle chasing that one down, and just as she thought Nancy Harmon was going to have to throw that, she ducked as low as she could, but Nancy Harmon actually hadn't released the ball, so she was just crouching on the floor for a moment.
Get out of the way.
Yeah.
As quickly as you possibly can. Didn't quite have the old relay going on there, passing it across. Villiers once again, 3 from 3, 14 for 1. The score halfway through the third over as Datani comes in once again. And bowled middle stump, absolutely poleaxed, cartwheeling backwards, straight through the gate, and that is a second Durham wicket. Naomi Datani this time, and it's Maddie Villiers now sent back to the pavilion.
What a phenomenal bit of bowling that was. Absolutely dead on the money from Naomi Datani. We're just waiting for the replay there, but absolutely, I mean, the middle stump cartwheeled off the ground, out of the ground. Phenomenal bit of work there.
Talk about emphatic. And this is the ideal start. Remember, we said Hampshire yet to beat Durham in the Vitality Blast. Well, couldn't have gone much better with both openers dislodged inside the first 3 overs. A wicket apiece for Tyson and for Datani.
Indeed, and Maddie Villiers, she can again be a dangerous player, and she's just gone for 3 off 4 balls. Never really got a chance to get started or face too many. And the ones she did, Naomi Datani's seen a quick end to that. So that brings Bess Heath in. What
just
a replay.
It back a little bit maybe through the gate. And that is the best sight for any fast bowler. Middle stump being sent out of the turf and towards the wicketkeeper.
What I enjoy about Naomi Datani, she's quite understated. There was no huge celebration. If that was me, I'd be still running around celebrating now.
Early days still. Early days, of course.
Very
we
true.
know that this Durham side very dangerous, despite having Holly Armitage and Maddie Villiers already gone. As this will be Bess Heath to face up now to Datani, and this is back for length and just flicked off the hip down towards Nancy Harmon, who runs around from deep backward square, and will just be a single added to the total.
Yeah, Nancy Harmon's just been moved slightly round. She was very much at the deep square leg. She's just been moved round to where they seem to be sort of attacking a little bit more. Round in front of the Colin Ingleby Mackenzie stand, almost dead in front of the tunnel. that was being used more as a shade on Friday.
It's definitely come a little bit straighter, as this will be Tatani to complete the third over. It's just pushed back to Maya Boucher, comes in from mid-wicket. Excellent over from Naomi Tatani. The wicket of Maddie Villiers. And that is 15 for 2 from the first 3.
It'll be interesting to see what Durham does now. It looked as if Emily Windsor was maybe just playing a little bit more conservatively after those early 2 wickets. They know they've still got 17 overs to go, and they are currently on 15, sorry, 15. I missed that last run. 15, there's still a long way to go. Do you want to be too aggressive from the off? Still got a few good batters to come afterwards, even if your top of your order have now been dismissed. But it will be Bex Tyson. It's a nice combination of Datani and Tyson. Carries on. Heath just taking guard. She's not faced one from this end. Tyson's going to remain around the wicket, waiting behind the umpire, almost hiding. She comes in and bowls. And this is just guided round the corner. And there's a big strong throw coming in to Uriana Southby, but they made that through very easily there.
Nice bit of touch, inventiveness. Maybe that's the best way to go about it, with that little reverse paddle.
Yes, just try and keep the ball moving, try and keep the runs flowing. Maybe try and get Hampshire always trying to play catch up is maybe the thought process here now, as Tyson comes in again. Bowls, full length delivery, and this is up in the air, and that's gone well over the head of the covers, and that's going to be 4. What a fantastic shot there from Emily Windsor, a big hitter. She's going to take it on herself.
Super shot, breaking the shackles, down the track. Mid-on has gone back, or mid-off has gone back, I should say, to a long off, but mid-on still up. That's the vacant region. Emily Windsor targeting there.
Yeah, that will be making her feel just that little bit better. As soon as you've got a boundary under your belt, you suddenly start feeling that little bit more confident.
Just dropped inside the rope as well.
Yeah, for a moment it did look like it was going for 4. Boundaries are quite big here as Tyson comes in again. Full length delivery this time through the offside, and that has definitely been drilled for 4. Emily Windsor deciding that she's going to take matters into her own hands.
Punch and counter punch. One down the track. Now a beautiful shot through the covers. And suddenly it's Tyson that finds herself under a little bit of pressure here with back-to-back boundaries.
Yeah, Emily Windsor has always been a dangerous woman when she's on strike, especially facing spin. Tyson in again, around the wicket. Slightly better delivery there, maybe just a little bit more focused on the stumps. The last few maybe just with the wind, it is coming or from our right hand side, blowing across the track, maybe just drifting out to that off stump. As Tyson is in again, almost going leg side of that. I don't know whether she got a bat on that or whether that be giving us some buys, but they've had one for it. And yep, it's been given as a leg bye there. You're eagerly trying to look at something.
Just trying to see the field change.
Right.
Both players. 2 out on the leg side now.
There's Tyson in again. Slightly shorter. This one moved through. Oh, and she's beaten the covers again, and that's gone straight through the offside.
Very productive over.
Indeed.
Gives herself a little bit of room. Got to punch that off the back foot through the covers. And suddenly, just changed a little bit.
14 off the over.
29 for 2. Now the score. 3 boundaries taken off Bex Tyson after what was a very nice start. Like I said, just trying to counter punch here.
Yeah, I think we've got to remember it's the T20. They will be looking for the boundaries, maybe attacking the spinners. Bex Tyson is one that you do need to be careful if you're going to attack her, but Emily Windsor's just shown us how it's done.
Very easy in white ball cricket. Once you lose a couple of early wickets, just to try and dig in, try and stem the flow a little bit before just building up that innings, just knocking it around, accumulating the singles, and then you give yourself the platform late on. But Emily Windsor with some lovely shots, and the same for Bess Heath, as Datani will continue for her 3rd over. In now to Emily Windsor. And it's just open the face, as this will run down towards Poppy Tulloch, going in from deep backward point.
Yeah, I think Naomi Datani here is just slowing things down. She's just decided that actually maybe that last over just with the spin a little bit quick, letting Durham dictate the play. Okay, I'm going to just slow things down, make you wait for me now.
Datani now into Bess Heath. This one punched down the ground, beats Datani, but will only find mid-on. That's where the skipper, Georgia Adams, finds herself, and it'll be no run.
Beautiful day here at the Utilita Bowl. Only 23 degrees, that's quite nice in the shade. Much nicer than the Friday. I think they got up to about 35.
Not comfortable at all. And like you said earlier, a nice little breeze is just coming through. One from the over so far. Datani will run in again to Bess Heath. 6 from 4 deliveries so far. It's just worked into the leg side. Not timed and picked up by Maya Bouchier, who comes in from mid-wicket. So again, the pressure put back on to the Durham batters. It just feels that ebb and flow. Good over for the Durham batters in the previous over. Taking a few boundaries off Bex Tyson, then Datani straight back on the money. So important just to build up that pressure, even in the power play. 30 for 2. The score as Datani comes in once more. Full toss outside off stump, slaps back over the bowler's head. Easy as you like. And that is an important boundary to break that little bit of pressure that was just building. Second boundary for Bess Heath, who moves on to 10 now.
That felt like we were watching baseball rather than cricket.
Real slap, wasn't it?
Yeah, look at this on the replay. It really was like it was a baseball shot. Just came through very flush. But elsewhere, obviously, we do have the England men in action against New Zealand. And the headline at the moment is England roar back with 3 quick wickets after lunch on day 4. I'll give you those scores in a moment.
What's the riposte then from Naomi Datani? Bess Heath looking to try and put the pressure back on. Datani in now. Full, very full on off stump and just open the face. Guided down towards Bex Tyson at 3rd, but no run there.
Yeah, New Zealand are 213 for 7. They have 3 wickets remaining. Blundell was bowled by Archer, caught by Gay for 18. Santner was bowled by Stokes, caught by Smith for a duck. And Smith was bowled by Archer, caught by Smith for just the 1. Mitchell and Foulkes are still there.
Always Daryl Mitchell, the nemesis of England, especially in the Bazball era. Datani to complete the over though, her 3rd. Back for length, pulled, but off the bottom of the bat, they're going to try and scamper through for a single. It's Southby who comes in from the keeper's position to pick this one up, but it is, in the end, a comfortable single. Now we'll end the 5th over, 35 for 2 now, Durham.
Yeah, very positive running there. Always these two will always run well together, and they will look for any tiny slip up in the fielding or opportunity where they can run and just keep that score ticking over. We're a quarter of the way through this first innings.
I think we are going to see our first bowling change as Bex Tyson will be replaced.
Is it going to be Georgia Adams or
Eliza Bristow? This looks like it
Lovely.
will be.
It is indeed. Excited to see her, not yet watched her bowl. Going to keep the seamers in. Maybe Bex Tyson was just a little bit too expensive in that last over.
Bristow, of course, making her debut last time out against Yorkshire. 2 overs, none for 11.
Coming in at quite the angle here. She comes over the wicket and that's drilled straight down. And only the single will be given. Good backing up there. It was a very strong overthrow came in from Maya Bouchier. Yeah, she's almost coming in, she's coming in from the hotel end here, and instead of coming quite straight, she's almost coming at maybe a 15-degree angle as we look at it here.
Yeah, definitely coming in from wide of the crease, just trying to create those angles.
She looks like she's going to run into the umpire almost as, again, over the wicket, and this is just wafted outside the off stump, and that's going to run away for 4. And Nancy Harman is fast on the boundary, but just not quite fast enough there.
Sweetly timed. Not the best of delivery, short and wide. Got to punish that in T20 cricket in particular. And Emily Windsor latching onto that one very quickly.
Yeah, as I said, there is a breeze coming across this ground today, coming from, as we look at it, right to left, from the Shane Warne stand across the Colin Ingleby Mackenzie stand. And if you're coming from this end, it's just going to push that ball onto the offside. As in again we come, much straighter delivery, and they'll only get the 1 for that. It was a quick single, Bouchier's on it. They did manage to get through. Windsor moved on to 15 off 14. Heath 12 off 9. And Durham are 41 for 2.
Maybe says there's still a little bit left in that pitch. I think that just caught Emily Windsor out a little bit by surprise. Just zipped off the surface ever so slightly, despite being, of course, from a back of the length. Well, length.
As Bristow bowls now again over the wicket. Good full length delivery, and this one's fielded well. There is a shy at the stumps, but it just was a bit of a miss throw there. I think it's got a bit stuck.
Yeah, Pippa Sproul at extra cover, trying to pick it up and fire it in as quickly as possible as they scampered through, but just off balance trying to make that throw.
I think she was sort of still on her knees at that point. A good stop. Hampshire tidying up those fielding slight mishaps that we had in the first over as Bristow in again. Bowls, much fuller delivery, almost Yorker delivery there. And straight onto it is Maya Boucher out in the covers. No run there. Had 7 off this over. Durham 42 for 2.
And the wind really starting to pick up now. See the parasols and the flags really starting to flutter with aplomb over the distance.
As Bristow comes in for the last ball of her over the wicket. Bowl shorter this time. Pushed away through that offside and well collected in the deep by Nancy Harmon. We'll just get the one for it. 43 for 2 are Durham after 6 overs.
Fairly even Stevens, you would say, after the power play. Durham, you could say, will be the happier of the two sides, considering how well the Hampshire Hawks started, removing Armitage, removing Maddie Villiers. Windsor and Heath have done a really good job to repair that damage, and going at just over 7s, survived that early onslaught.
Absolutely, yeah, they've very much rebuilt this innings in remarkably fast fashion.
So it will be, for the first time, Amanda Jade Wellington into the attack from the pavilion end, taking over from Naomi Datani. Those 3 overs for 17 that she bowled.
Yeah, just showing on the pitch feed there, this partnership has already scored 29, but only in 13 minutes. So they're going at well over 2 runs a minute.
29 from 20 so far. As Jade Wellington in now, and this is very full and just pushed down the ground towards long off. It'll be a comfortable single.
Just looking there, I think Amanda Jade Wellington is trying to get that ball to move a little bit. Did look like Heath had to do a little bit of work just to get that ball out of her way.
I just had to give herself a little bit of room, like what we spoke about with Eliza Bristow previously, just moving around in the crease, trying to create those angles. It's a little bit easier when you're a spinner, as Wellington will come in once more, this time to Bess Heath, 13 from 10. It's just worked into the leg side. Potentially look for 2, as it's Maya Boucher coming in from the deep mid-wicket boundary, but definitely not a second run there. Yeah,
maybe just a little bit too sort of flighted in, not completely, but maybe just didn't quite have enough on it, and Heath was maybe expecting it to be drilled in a little bit more, so maybe caught just off guard.
Wellington in once more to Emily Windsor. This one on off stump, pushed into the offside, and just working around nicely. Finding those singles, rotating the strike. Just keep accumulating, like we said earlier, especially after losing early wickets.
Yeah, that ball only went about 3 strips to the right as we look at it, and yet they still scamper through for a single. These two are incredibly positive runners, and Hampshire have really got to be very tight in the fielding.
Wellington in now. Heavy leg side fielders. There's a misfield there of Pippa Sproul, I think, coming from cover. It'll be Poppy Tulloch that laps that one up out on the deep cover or deep point boundary. There'll be another single. 4 singles from the over so far. It's really interesting. We look at the differences in fields for Bess Heath, very leg side dominant field. There's opportunities to go through the covers in particular. Nobody out there on the boundary. As Wellington in now on leg stump, and this is pushed down the ground. Datani, I think it is, will try and pick that one up and does so successfully.
Yeah, that was a great stop there by Datani. I mean, that could have been quite expensive if that slipped through. I know there was a backing up, but you always want to be making sure you're stopping those balls, especially that are running towards the pavilion.
Tidy over then from Amanda Jade Wellington. Last ball. This is tried to be punched off the back foot by Bess Heath, but misses it, and it'll be a dot. So 5 from Amanda Jade Wellington's first over. 48 for 2 the score.
Yeah, really nice over from her. Good to see, keeping it just really nice and tidy, keeping it nice and tight, almost, as you say, not what we were saying for Durham, but now for Hampshire, kind of stemming the flow of boundaries, just trying to really tighten that up. I'm deciding I'm regretting my t-shirt option, or my sort of top option today.
Yeah, that wind has continued become more than just blustery, I think the best way to say it. We can see the parasols in the distance really fluttering away.
I cannot believe I'm about to say this, but I kind of I want a jumper on.
Who would have thought that after the week that we've just had? Poppy Tulloch, though, into the attack for the first time.
Well, you're in like a long sleeve hooded garment.
It's like a hooded jumper.
It's like a hooded long sleeve top, isn't it?
Appropriate outfit,
Yes,
as we suddenly
I'm
have
jealous.
found.
So Poppy Tulloch coming in, she's just making sure that she can find her bowling mark. She has the disc in hand, but I think she's just looking for her precise mark, and Georgia Adams is just going to come over and give her a hand to make sure it is correct. They seem to have lost it slightly. Adams is pointing at something, and Poppy Tulloch has decided, yeah, that's fine, I'll run from there, and then takes about 4 steps back from it as she begins her run up now. She's coming in over the wicket. Good delivery there, and that's just pushed into the offside. Now scamper through for 1. And Pippa Sproul on the end of that. Good fielding there.
Always a little flutter of panic for a fast bowler in particular when you're not 100% sure on what your run-up is.
Yeah.
It's so important, understated sometimes how important that run-up is, because it gets you the rhythm, gets you the flow, gets you the momentum through the crease.
Well, luckily she has found it now as Tulloch again starts ball number 2, and she's in and over the wicket, bowls, good length delivery, and that's been pushed right down the track, and she does almost a cartwheel over the ball as Adams is round to field that, but they'll only get the 1 from it. It was quite an impressive roll over the ball then from Poppy Tulloch.
Would have been more impressive if she managed to pick the ball up.
Yeah, very true.
Acrobatics were, like you said, impressive in the first place. As that is 50 up for Durham, 7.2 overs. And after that shaky start, losing Holly Armitage and Maddie Villiers, recovered nicely with Bess Heath and Emily Windsor.
Yes, indeed, this partnership, Hampshire will be keen to break soon as Tulloch comes in. Bowls, and this is good length delivery, and it's, oh, I think it was a bit of a miss-hit there, and it sort of jutted off maybe the lower side of the bat. Emily Windsor just demonstrating what she wanted to have done.
Won't find that one in the textbook. Bottom of the bat, going not much further than the end of our own toes.
So Durham remain on 50 for 2. Into the 7th over here as Tulloch comes in again past the umpire. Shorter delivery this time, and this is worked away. Square of the wicket, but a bit of an overthrow. Many backing up though, that's okay. Maya Boucher, a safe pair of hands in the field.
Very nearly a mix up there at the non-strikes end. Bess Heath was halfway down the wicket. She was looking for the single. Was almost under a little bit of pressure to try and get back.
Yeah, I think she'd got used to Emily Windsor going yes on everything, and she said no on this one. Tulloch bowls, much fuller delivery, and that's worked right over the head of her. And there's unable to stop that one. That one's gone for 4.
Down the track again. Seeing how important it is, not the first time we've seen either Bess Heath or Emily Windsor use their feet to get to the pitch of the ball. Hammered back over Poppy Tulloch's head. Real power in that shot.
Indeed, it was strong. She was a good 2 paces down the wicket already. And yeah, there was no stopping that one. Tulloch in again. Final ball of her over. Shorter, and this is kind of sliced away, and I'm not actually sure if she just about managed to get a bat on that, but it has gone for 4. We'll see if there are some leg buys. I believe maybe, no?
Thick edge. Threw her hands at that one.
Yep.
Just evades the diving. Not sure who it was at short third. But back-to-back boundaries after conceding just 2 from the first 4 deliveries. Unfortunate. Poppy Tulloch can't get out of that over. Goes for 10.
We've got the scatter blast. We're throwing some T-shirts out into the crowd. I can't quite see where they are. I think they're quite high up. Are they? Oh, over on this side. Yes, there's a party of kids, I think, that were playing before we started, and they're being thrown some free T-shirts, much to their delight.
Always a party atmosphere at the Utilita Bowl. But this will be the skipper coming into the attack, Georgia Adams, leading wicket taker not just for Hampshire but in the Vitality Blast 2026. She shapes up to Bess Heath. First delivery from Georgia Adams, cut into the covers. And again, good running. Oh, very close. Drops the bat, in fact. as Bess Heath desperately trying to get in. Bit of a collision there as the ball was fired into her.
I think Tatani did just apologise at maybe the pace that she threw that ball in.
Bullet throw from Tatani. And that's what you've got to be on the money in the field, especially when the running's been good. They're looking to steal these singles from maybe half chances that we've seen so far.
Indeed, it was a hard throw. She was almost side on to the wicket, so she only had one wicket to throw at. She wasn't far off as it hit the bat as Heath as she was running through.
Change in the field as Pippa Sproul comes from extra cover into a short mid-wicket area as Georgia Adams in now. Backwards goes Emily Windsor and plays it straight to Pippa Sproul, so excellent field change.
Yes, it's from a Hampshire point of view, they'll be happy to see that they're trying to play off the back foot. It's always a dangerous position to be playing from, off balance, and looks to be...
Lovely reverse. Turns it round the corner. Picked up nicely by Eliza Bristow, coming round from backward point. Good take as well from Rihanna Southby, wasn't the best of throws.
It's like a Superman take.
Again, just working it around, taking those singles. It's been a little while since we've seen that squeeze that Hampshire were putting on. Obviously getting out of that over with a brace of boundaries previously, as this is cut back down the ground, flat batted past Georgia Adams, and it'll be picked up from the fielder coming round at long on.
So we've only got, what, one more over until we're halfway through. Durham on 61 for 2. Start looking at projected scores.
Yeah, down the track again, use of the feet, this time from Emily Windsor. Will only go as far as long off, but another easy single as Tatani hurls that one in. Average first innings total so far this season in the Blast, 152 at the Utilita Bowl. Hampshire batted first twice, scored 160 for 7 and 174 for 5 last time out against Yorkshire. The other one, Surrey, getting skittled for 121, ending up being one of 2 ties that the Hampshire Hawks have picked up so far. As that looks to be caught behind and is trying to give herself a little bit of room, Bess Heath, to cut it, work it into the offside. Big appeal straight away from Rihanna Southby, and a skipper strikes.
Yeah, great to see there from Adams. You almost could feel that she brought herself on to find that next wicket, and found it she has. Great work from her. And we'll just look for that replay.
Really important partnership to break. Get rid of Bess Heath. Going really nicely with Emily Windsor. Looking in fairly good order, both of them. Looking like they were just controlling these middle overs. That could be that momentum swing once again back in the favour of the home side. We'll see.
Indeed, as you say, Hampshire knew that was an incredibly important partnership they had to break. And break it they have. They'll still be looking to get Windsor out, who's going along rather nicely on 30 off 27. But Bess Heath went for 18 off 14.
So it'll be Heather Graham that will join Emily Windsor out in the middle. 62 for 3 the score from 9 overs. I think it's going to be Bex Tyson to return from the hotel end.
Yeah, really nice from Georgia Adams here, just really rotating her bowlers, trying to keep Durham always thinking, always having another different bowler sort of being thrown at you. Having to adapt and change to each different one. Emily Windsor, at the moment, the only one that's got a complete read on most. As Tyson comes in from the hotel end again, she's going to come round the wicket. And bowls, full delivery, cut away to the offside, but well stopped there. Oh, not quite able to be taken there by Rihanna Southby, who jumped probably as high as she possibly could, but it still went over her head, but well backed up there. No run on that one, 62 for 3. And that just changes the projected score slightly, I imagine. New partnership now in. As Tyson comes in, and this is straight, and it's been bowled. Fantastic work there, and she has the big wicket of Emily Windsor, and Hampshire will be delighted.
Hawks go bang bang. Both set batters sent back to the pavilion. First it was Bess Heath, now Emily Windsor. Plays all around that one, I think. Straight through from Bex Tyson, who picks up her second of the afternoon. 62 for 4. Suddenly, after that partnership was being built, looking a little bit shaky now for Durham.
Yeah, absolutely. That partnership, I mean, put on well over 50, and now they've both gone in the space of, well, no runs. And you may just be able to hear on the in-ground was it in-ground speakers? Why can't I think of that word? Yes, that we do have Mia Rogers, Durham's wicket-keeper, just coming in there.
This is a very important phase now for Durham. 2 brand new batters at the crease, neither faced a delivery so far. The squeeze that we were potentially talking about, the Hawks just losing ever so slightly with that partnership for Windsor and Heath. Now brought very much back into the game. And is this where do you have to start accumulating, or do you go for the counter punches that we saw previously again?
Tyson in again, round the wicket. Ball's nice and straight, and this is just pushed out onto the offside by Rogers. A brand new partnership in. Both batters yet to get off the mark. It's gone from quite a comfortable innings there from Durham to a brand new one. So it's flighted and sliced onto the leg side, but straight to the skipper, Georgia Adams. There's Tyson in once more. Full delivery and worked onto the offside square of the wicket. No run, keeping this incredibly tight. Now is Tyson.
This could be a wicket.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't say it, don't say it. Tyson, last ball of the over. Can she get it? Oh, yes, she can. A wicket maiden for Bex Tyson. A fantastic over there. Wicket on the second ball. She will be thrilled after that second over she had. And Emily Windsor, I think, knocked her for 3 boundaries within it, and a few others as well, a few other runs. Went for about 16 in that one over. And now a wicket maiden, a great comeback from her. Great response.
So just the one left now for Bex Tyson. 3 overs, 2 for 16. Her figures. It will be Amanda Jade Wellington to return from the pavilion end. Just the one over from Georgia Adams. What score would you be looking at now if you're in that Durham dugout?
Well, before these 2 wickets, you'd be looking at a comfortable, 170, even maybe 200s now.
You can get up to 150 from this position.
Yeah.
That gives you something to work with heading into the run chase. But Amanda Jade Wellington, 1 over for 5 so far, as it's tucked into the leg side. Bex Tyson runs around from fine leg and scamper through for a single. Off the mark for Heather Graham.
So I'm like many of us at the moment, my hay fever is going absolutely mental, so I'm currently just trying to put some eye drops in while still talking with the headset on.
No idea when the main role is to try and see what's going on. As Amanda J. Wellington in once more, this time to Mia Rogers, pushed into the offside, and Naomi Tatani will hustle in to pick this one up, and there will be no run.
Yeah, I think when it was really hot, the hay fever kind of was, the pollen wasn't really moving, and now wind is up.
Amanda J. Wellington in, gives herself a little bit of room, but unable to get bat on that one. And now pressure building here, really, for Mia Rogers. None from 6 deliveries so far. The run rate that was getting up towards 8 as that previous partnership between Heath and Windsor. Now down to just a run a ball as Amanda J. Wellington in once again and just pushed back to the bowler. Mia Rogers just getting caught here. This is where you need to try and just find your out point, find your safety shot, your release shot. 2 to go in the 11th over, 1 from it so far. Mia Rogers throws her hands at that one, but again, can't get bat on it. Good take from Rihanna Southby. 4 dots in a row now.
Yes, these two just look slightly uncomfortable out there. Hampshire are just keeping them on their toes. They're throwing as much as they possibly can at them. It's 63 for 4.
And Heather Graham's just had a little word with Mia Rogers as well. Amanda Jade Wellington to finish her second over. None for 6 so far, just 1 from it. Swept out towards Nancy Harmon, who comes around from deep square. And that will be Mia Rogers off the mark, just a single, but a little release of pressure, potentially.
Well, hello to those of you that joined us from BBC Radio Solent. It is the Hampshire and Durham T20 Blast game. It's the top of the table. Hampshire on 23 points, Durham on 22, but Hampshire are yet to have beaten Durham yet in this competition. Durham won the toss and chose to bat, and they are currently 64 for 4. Hampshire are doing quite some remarkable work in the field. We've had 11 overs, 9 to go. Just having a bit of an over change here. And Georgia Adams is going to bowl from the hotel end. She's going to come over the wicket, and that's pushed through and sliced away onto the offside. They scamper through for 1, and there's a slight misfield there, and they're going to come back for 2. Bit of a shame there because it went straight to the fielder. Just a couple of fielding mistakes today from Hampshire, but not too many, not too bad. Durham 66 for 4. As Adams is in again, and this was a bit of a shout as it's carried through to the keeper, but I don't think there was any bat on that from Rogers. If you are just joining us, well, Hampshire struck early on, and Durham were 14 for 2. As Adams comes in again, and this is tries to sweep onto the leg side, and they're going to scamper through for 1. And then the partnership of Maddie Villiers and Emily Windsor put on well over 50. And Bess Heath and Emily Windsor was dismissed for 62 for 3, and then a ball later, Emily Windsor 62 for 4. So Hampshire's all striking in pairs of 2s at the moment. Durham 67 for 4. Adams looking for her second wicket. Comes in, and this is worked nicely down almost to a wide long on, sorry. But my Boucher is there and returning to her outfield position. I'm joined by myself, Amelia Clark, and Tom Wilkinson. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Amelia.
As Adams comes in again. Pushed out to Boucher again. Adams keeping this one tight. She's 1 for 9 at the moment. 1 ball left. Only 5 off of this over so far. In for the final ball she comes. Good full length delivery, and Graham's looked to move down the track there. Didn't quite get as much as she would have liked on it, but they got through for the 1. And that will be the end of the over. 12 overs gone. Durham are 70 for 4. What are you thinking of the projected score, Tom, so far?
Difficult to say, because the power play you could say fairly even, Durham getting to 43. They've only scored 27 though in the last 6 overs. Real squeeze applied by the Hampshire Hawks in the last 6 overs, really putting the pressure on Durham, getting those 2 wickets, going bang bang, getting the 2 set batters out, and you feel they'll be hoping to try and restrict Durham with the way that the run rate has fallen to around about that 120 score.
120 on this pitch. I think that's a very comfortable chasing score.
Especially with the form of Maya Boucher.
Indeed.
At the top of the order. But this will be Amanda Jade Wellington to continue. 2 overs, none for 7 so far. Mira Rogers just tucks this into the offside. Pippa Sproul will eventually pick this one up, but it'll be a single. Mira Rogers, who struggled a little bit to get going. 5 from 13 deliveries so far. Took 8 deliveries to get off the mark. Just really held down by Hampshire spinners. And now the reverse comes out. Just dropped short.
Didn't quite
Eliza
carry,
Bristow there at short third.
Always get excited when the ball's in the air. My mum has a running joke that whenever I'm watching it on the telly, whenever it's in the air I shout catch. I'm like, well, you should catch it as soon as it's in the air.
Message for the fielders. As again down on one knee for the sweep. Doesn't quite get all of it, and Nancy Harmon will come in from deep backward square to collect this one. Another single. Amanda Jade Wellington keeping things very tight so far. 2.5 overs bowled. Just 9 runs conceded. Yet to concede a boundary, I believe.
Indeed, but I was just going to have a look. Obviously, England men are in again.
So sweet. This time, turn around the corner. Time better. This time by Heather Graham. Nancy Harmon won't cut that off running round. And that is an important boundary. Just releases the pressure valve ever so slightly. That was building and building and building for Durham. Takes the score to 76 for 4 now. Heather Graham to 8 from 5. And just as I say, Amanda Jade Wellington hasn't conceded a boundary. She goes and concedes one.
I don't think you can, unfortunately, give that one to her. I think there was a bit of a mix-up in the field there. I think Bex Tyson thought that Nancy Harmon was a bit further round than she was.
Driven nicely, but we'll only find Naomi Datani, who comes around from extra cover. So the boundary, followed by a dot.
And the England men, after picking up 3 quick wickets after lunch, New Zealand, they still hold New Zealand at 221 for 7.
Wellington to complete a 3rd over. Graham gives herself a little bit of room to cut this into the offside. And it'll be Poppy Tulloch from the deep cover boundary to collect that one. Amanda Jade Wellington, 3 overs, none for 14 so far. Just one left. Bex Tyson with a couple of wickets as well, 2 for 16 off her 3. Georgia Adams and Naomi Datani, the other wicket takers alongside Tyson.
Yeah, fairly tight over, just when you needed one, really. Adams here now really implementing the spinners whenever she can. But this is exactly the point in time when you've got to be thinking we need to keep this bowling and this fielding incredibly tight. Can't really be any slip-ups here because Durham will be looking to pounce. They need to build this run score. They are 77 for 4. Adams, I think, mainly just waiting for the music to stop as she's going to come in and bowl over the wicket from the hotel end. And this is worked down the track and up over the head, and both fielders converging on it just aren't able to get it. And that's just fallen in front of us. One bounce over the ropes.
Really nice shot, Heather Graham. Again, we're seeing batters using the feet, getting down the pitch to the ball. Mid on and mid off are back, so it's a long on and a long off, but bisecting the pair of them, timed it nicely.
Deed Adams in again. Bowls, and this is worked down the track again, similar position, but maybe just slightly more onto the leg side. There are many other matches on today. We've got the Essex women against the Blaze. Essex are 136 for 9. The Blaze need 137 to win. So Adams standing at the top of her mark. In again. Bowls, good full left delivery in there. Rogers just tried to use her feet there, and maybe Adams just followed her slightly because she just caught herself and maybe was trying to just jut it off and guide it back behind her, but didn't quite get as much as she wanted on that. As Adams in again, no wasted time here. And again, tried to use her feet there, did Rogers, but got a bit mixed up and it kind of thick edge and it jumped over the head of Southby, and sort of a bit of a confusion there, but just the one. 82 for 4, are Durham. Got Lancashire Thunder against Warwickshire Bears. Warwickshire Bears are 90 for 3 with 9 overs remaining. Adams in again, and this is worked into the leg side. A slightly more conventional shot, but Rogers did seem to almost fall over her feet there a little bit as she went to start running. And the Somerset women are 96 for 2 with 7 overs remaining. Adams in for the final ball of her over. And again, Rogers looking to almost experiment there. She kind of turned a little bit too early. I think maybe a slower ball. Adams has been given that as a wide, unfortunately, but I think Rogers maybe moved a little bit and caused that one to go wide. I think, yeah, Adams is actually having a bit of a word with the umpire, but she's got a smile on her face. She's not too annoyed. She'll bowl another one. Much straighter delivery there. That is up over the head, and that's gone flying over the offside there. 4-4. An unfortunate moment really for Adams there, but bookended that over with boundaries, but very tight otherwise within the middle.
Beautiful shot. Use of the feet again, this time up and over extra cover. In to out, really nicely played. Amira Rogers, we've seen, like you mentioned, moving around the crease a lot, down the pitch, getting outside off stump, going for those sweeps and those laps and those paddles. A couple of reverse sweeps as well have been brought out, just trying to find a way to score, find a way to try and pick up a bit of momentum for Durham, give them a bit of impetus as we head into the final 6 overs. And it will be Amanda Jade Wellington to bowl out here from the pavilion end. None for 14 from her 3 so far. Georgia Adams with 1 more as well, 1 for 21 from her 3. Amanda Jade Wellington in, turned into the leg side by Heather Graham. It'll be the captain that comes around from mid-on to pick that up, and it'll be a single.
Absolutely. We do also have the Hampshire men that are in action later today. I believe they start in about 8 minutes. Just trying to find who they're...
Down the pitch, thick edge. Bit of an ungainly heave that from Mia Rogers, gets away with it. As Eliza Bristow picks it up from short third.
Yes, they're playing the Kent Spitfires. That's going to start in just about 8 minutes. Kevin James will be taking you through that one.
Wellington in once more, back for length. Gives herself a little bit of room, Heather Graham, to cut this into the offside. Picked up by Datani, coming round from extra cover. Another single.
Durham 92 for 4. Almost 3/4 of the way through this batting innings.
Reverse sweep, went down very early there, Mia Rogers, has managed to bisect all the fielders behind square. Eliza Bristol just keep this away from the boundary edge. Bit of fancy footwork to stay inside the rope. And that should be a couple to Mia Rogers.
I do love that. You had a good few people below us there just go, ooh, ooh, she got close there. It was about, I don't know, about an inch from her with her extra step foot away from the boundary.
Mia Rogers seen a couple of times getting into position for these sweeps very early. Again, outside off stump. It's wrapped on the pad. Amanda Jade Wellington liked it. They'll sneak through for a leg by as Bex Tyson picks the ball up from fine leg.
Yeah, I think that was going down leg. No one else seemed interested there. Bowler with shouts. You know Rihanna Southby's not interested because she will shout for most things.
Last ball for Amanda Jade Wellington. On the stumps, pushed towards Naomi Datani. It goes through the legs, misfield. And that'll be an easy single to complete Amanda Jade Wellington's 4 overs. None for 21. The Hampshire Hawks number 10.
Yep, 3/4 of the way through here. 96 for 4. 15 overs gone. Graham 18 off 13. Rogers 14 off 21. At the top of the order clash here. Hampshire versus Durham. Hampshire on 23 points. Durham on 22. And we've got Poppy Tulloch. To bowl. Here we go, Poppy Tulloch from the hotel end. And she's in. Bowls over the wicket, and this is driven out to the offside. They're going to go through for one. There's a shy at the bowler's end.
Tight one. Georgia Adams got down quickly to try and take that run out at the non-striker's end. Poppy Tulloch with that 1 over earlier on, just after the completion of the power play, went for 10. Started nicely, just 2 from the first 4 balls, and then back-to-back boundaries to round it off.
As Tulloch comes in again, and this is a full end, and it's taken on. Oh, and it's been caught. Fantastic work. That is an absolutely brilliant catch there out in the covers. Graham just went a step forward, opened the face of the bat, and didn't just quite get enough on it.
Slapped straight to Pippa's brow on debut. Got into the action early, was involved in the first couple of overs at cover point and cover. Now taking a fairly regulation catch. Hit hard, but that is the end of Heather Graham for 18, and Poppy Tulloch has her first.
Indeed, she's bowled well here. Nice to see that she can get her first wicket of the day. And also for Sproul, who's on her Hampshire debut after being on loan to Middlesex. A nice catch in the covers, and that takes Durham, I believe, to 96 for 5. It just hasn't changed over yet. Took it on the full toss and just opened the bat a little bit too much.
Correction, I think it's Mia Rogers.
Oh,
the
thank you.
batter that's gone. Scoreboard not updating. Yes, Mia Rogers 14 from 22. It will be Grace Thompson to join Heather Graham in the middle.
Ah yes, the scoreboard's caught up with us now. 97 for 5. Fantastic work here from Hampshire, but Durham still very much in this. Hampshire are yet to beat Durham in this competition. They've had 3 attempts and they've lost all 3 at the moment, so hope is very much not lost for the Durham side as Tulloch comes in again. Good delivery. I think there's a slight wrap on the pads, but to get a bat on it first. Juts out onto the leg side, and Tulloch will go and do her own fielding. Clean that one up. 98 for 5. Graham on 19 or 14. We have Grace Thompson joining her 1 for 1. She's off the mark, opens her account.
Real heavy sounds that crashed into the pad,
Yeah.
thundered into the pad. Must have been a bit of inside edge on that one.
The sun just peeking through some clouds that we've got above the Utilita Bowl here today. Tulloch in. Much fuller delivery there, and that's worked up, and it's going to be taken beautifully by Georgia Adams, diving away to her left in the offside. Graham, who was on 19, has been dismissed, and Hampshire strike again in that two. Yes,
London buses.
Indeed.
Taking them in pairs. Couple in the over now for Poppy Tulloch. And again, caught in the covers. This time, Captain George Adams makes absolutely no mistake. Once again, the two set batters getting themselves in, getting themselves out.
Yes, indeed. And yet again, we had a quite established pair that were going on quite nicely. And now we have a fairly brand new pair starting to get into the bottom order of the Durham side. Graham bowled by Tulloch, who's having a magnificent over, caught by Adams.
Yeah, nice catch as well. Diving low to her left. Heather Graham just trying to give herself a little bit of room, but punching it straight into the weighted hands of Georgia Adams. And Catherine Fraser, the new batter, another Scottish international returning. Only played once so far this season for Durham, but very much back in the thick of the action, having to do a little bit of work with bat in hand rather than ball.
Absolutely, they definitely get these girls working. Yesterday playing the West Indies, today down on the south coast playing Hampshire. As Tulloch comes in, 2 wickets and 2 runs off this ball, this over. She's going to drop that one a little bit short, just kind of push that right into the ground, and Fraser just managed to clip that off and work it down to fine leg.
Not the most convincing of shots, but effective nonetheless. Throw your hands at it short and wide outside the off stump. Bit of a thick edge, and it brings up the 100 for Durham. 15 overs and 5 balls to get there by Sex, short third and backward point. Datani and Tyson chasing it down, but no chance. The boundary to get Catherine Fraser started.
Yes, a landmark that at some points has looked very easy to get to, and at times much harder for Durham. As Tulloch comes in, final ball of this over. Much fuller delivery there, and that's worked into the covers and stopped after 1 bounce by Adams. And that will bring a close to Poppy Tulloch's over. 6 off of that, 2 wickets. A huge round of applause echoing around the grounds. And I was told before they were expecting around about 1,000 people or so to come in. I think we've got a few more than 1,000 maybe, scattered around the grounds. You can sit pretty much in a 360 view, roughly wherever you want. And every seat is a good view here at the Utilita Bowl. And you have
numbers increasing.
Indeed.
Smattering as you look all around the ground.
It's lovely. It's very colourful, isn't it?
Yes.
Lots of yellow, but lots of other colours. It's like a rainbow out there.
I particularly like the Hampshire Hawks deck chair,
Yeah.
just by the scoreboard.
I walked past that earlier. It is huge. It was about twice the size of me. I thought about getting in it, but I don't even think I could. I think I could get in, but I don't think I'd be able to get out. That would be the issue.
I worry that I might fall through it as well. Anyway, Georgia Adams back into the attack. Final over for the captain. This is pushed out towards long off the back foot from Grace Thompson. It will be a single. Let's put Catherine Fraser back on strike.
Yeah, Hampshire need to just keep things really tight here. Got less than 4 overs to go, and they're in a very strong position.
Georgia Adams in once again from the pavilion end. Driven, beats, I think it's Poppy Tulloch at a sort of short mid-wicket kind of region. Goes out towards Francesca Sweet at long on. Be another single to the score. 104 for 6 now. Grace Thompson with 2 from 2. Catherine Fraser 5 from 3. Down the pitch again. Finds the gap at extra cover. Be a chase for Naomi Datani round from long off, and she does well. As the Durham batters come through for a couple.
Great running there by Naomi Datani in the deep. Got right round and stopped that one. Healthy boundary saved.
So 3 balls left for Georgia Adams. 1 for 25. Her figures so far turned into the leg side. They're going to try and steal a single. Rihanna Southby's going to have to fire this in towards the non-striker's end. The throw was a little bit wayward. Georgia Adams couldn't quite get down to pick that one up, and it'll be another single.
Yeah, just slightly too quick there maybe from Southby.
Giving us leg buys, in fact. So it won't be one to the Grace Thompson score. Catherine Fraser back on strike. Couple of deliveries left in the over, and this is just pushed back towards Georgia Adams. No run.
Exactly what Hampshire need right now. She's only conceded 4 or 5 off this over.
Georgia Adams to bowl out. Deep in the crease. Catherine Fraser pushes this down towards long on. And that will be the skipper done with the ball at least. 4 overs, 1 for 26. Her figures, 14th wicket of the Vitality Blast. Still right up there at the sharp end of leading wicket takers in the competition.
So the question is, who's going to be your death bowler? Who's going to bowl the last?
Datani's still got one more. I think Bex Tyson's got one more as well. And then you've got Poppy Tulloch with a couple, who looks like she's going to be bowling the 18th, 2 for 16 from her 2 overs.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes Tulloch, Datani, and then Tyson. Because Datani only seemed to bowl from that pavilion end. She may change things up, come from the hotel, but Tulloch's going to take this over. She's in, she bowls, and it's a good straight delivery at full length. Works right down at the feet into the leg side, and they'll go through for 1. Durham on 108 for 6. Fraser on 6 off 5, and Thompson 4 off 4. They both have a very healthy percentage at the moment.
Heavy leg side dominant field. Everybody up inside the ring in the covers. Only long off back.
Tulloch in. Oh, she almost slipped there as she went through. A big cloud of dust plumed up behind her. She managed to keep her footing, and they just get the 1. Tulloch on 2 for 18 so far. She's bowled, well, she's into her 3rd over now. Durham 110 for 6.
Cut-off wise, by the way, just over 2 overs to go. I think they've got another 12 minutes or so. So it looks like the Hawks are going to be absolutely fine time-wise.
Plenty of time. That's good to hear. As Tulloch comes in, nice full delivery again. Lots of dust starting to come off the track here from both ends. Thompson, she just struck that one. A big plume of dust starting to come off. We have, of course, not had a lot of rain recently. Very dry out there.
Absolutely not. Poppy Tulloch bowling well to her field here. Long off back. You've got deep mid-wicket, deep backward square. And then obviously long off as well. Bowling nicely. Easy single down the ground, but got to try and find the boundary through the offside, you feel.
Tulloch in. And bowls, and this is a swing and a miss, and it carried straight through to Rihanna Southby, who stood a good few paces behind. And dare I say it, there's now quite not a thick cloud covering, but I can't see much blue. There's a few maybe light dots around, but very much being given a bit of shade here. I think after Friday the players won't be complaining about that. Out in the beating heat of it all. As Tulloch comes in again, and this is driven in through the offside, and Georgia Adams made a fantastic stop there. The ball had sort of scampered away in front of her, but she managed to dive and keep them just to the single. Tulloch's going to bowl 1 more, and he conceded 4 off this over so far. Durham 112 for 6. 2 overs remaining. Fraser on strike. As the wind starts picking up, and the papers up here fly everywhere. And Tulloch is in and bowls. Very full delivery. She does another cartwheel over that. It was almost Yorker length, that one, as they just go through for the 1. Tidy over them there. That'll be much to the delight of Hampshire spectators and to the guys in the dressing room. Just the 2 overs left, but who will bowl them out?
It looked like a slower ball, that last one from Poppy Tulloch. And that's what she's got. She's got variations, which is where the argument lies. You bowl her in that final over. You give her the responsibility of bowling those death overs. It will be Bex Tyson.
I was wrong.
From the pavilion end. You're right with the
They're going to swap
person who's
around.
to bowl, but
yeah.
Not quite the order. 2 for 16 so far for Bex Tyson. That superb wicket maiden in there as well. If you exclude the over that went for 13, where there are 3 boundaries taken off her, only conceded 3 runs from her other couple of overs. Miserly outside of that one. So Catherine Fraser to face up then to Bex Tyson. 9 from 8 deliveries, gives herself room, just avoids the leg stump. Rihanna Southby can't quite pick it up, but Amanda Jade Wellington on hand coming in from fine leg. That looked very, very close to the leg stump. There's one thing about Bex Tyson, she does rattle through the overs. Then she comes again down the track once more, meets it on the full, Catherine Fraser. Just driven out towards Naomi Tatani at long off. Another single added to the total. Grace Thompson back on strike. 6 from 7 deliveries so far. So where you need a little bit of impetus potentially to take you into the run chase. Down the track, flicked off the legs. It'll be Nancy Harmon from deep square to run in and pick this one up. Another single to the total. Boundaries hard to come by, especially in these latter stages.
Yeah, indeed. And Durham will very much be thinking that they need to really try and squeeze one, find one wherever they can. 115 for 6.
Oh, she's dropped the ball. Becky Tyson in a delivery stride. That one just slipped out a little bit.
Yeah, I think she had a little giggle to herself, and Adams, who's standing her nearest fielder.
Reball that one, Bex. She comes back in down the track once more. Hammered down the ground. Francesca Sweet getting into position, but it's over her head. And that is the first 6 of the innings off the bat of Catherine Fraser. Finally, we see a little bit of aggression in these closing stages. 8 balls to go, 121 for 6 now the score. It's a lovely use of the feet again down the track. Beautiful swing of the bat.
Yeah, absolutely. There was nothing anyone really could have done there. It was tight to the stumps from Tyson, and Fraser just got it working.
2 more for Bex Tyson. Her last over, hammered into the leg side. Only finds Georgia Adams. The run out is on, and that is absolutely gone. Well, trying to steal the single after the 6, Catherine Fraser trying to get to the non-striker's end. Has got absolutely nowhere near the crease there. Easiest run out of Georgia Adams' life from mid-on. And once again, it's 1 step forward, 1 step back for Durham. 121 for 7 now.
Yeah, absolutely. And really positive to see that Hampshire, after a couple of very early fielding sort of slip-ups and mistakes, that was as clean as you like it, and they had masses of room and time to get Fraser out, and they will be incredibly happy to see that. And it was just as she hit that one, a thought crossed my mind that was, just don't get too comfortable here. The 6 was fantastic, but there's still work to go. You've still got an over to go. And we have Sophia Turner to join Thompson in the middle.
You feel like this one will be effectively a free hit for Grace Thompson. That'll be on strike. 7 from 8 deliveries so far. Bex Tyson 2 for 24 from 3 overs and 5 balls. Just 1 left, which is left arm spinner. In the penultimate over, 8 from it plus the wicket, plus the run out of course. Bex Tyson in to complete her set of 4. To Grace Thompson now, who's down the track. Doesn't get, well, a lot of it at all, right off the bottom of the bat as it bobbles out towards Pippa Sproul at cover point. And that will be the end of the penultimate over. 121 for 7, Durham find themselves now.
And so what would I think? We've got 6 balls left, as long as there's no wides or no balls to be bowled. It doesn't look like Naomi Tatani is going to close this out. Actually, it does look like Poppy Tulloch is going to come and complete this after her fantastic over of 6 and 2 wickets gone. But what will Durham be looking for?
It's really difficult. It looks like it's a difficult pitch to score. If you can get up maybe to 130,
I was just going to say,
give your bowlers a little bit more of something to work with.
Yeah. I mean, if they can get a couple of boundaries, you're suddenly looking at 140. But we've only seen a few of those in the entire innings, so bottom of the order, I don't want to put too much pressure on them to do that. Tulloch is in, and they are facing a good bowl, and there was an early move there. Went down on one knee to try and sort of ramp sweep this, but it just carried straight through to Rihanna Southby, who was waiting.
Talk about giving yourself a chance to see it in. First ball, down on one knee, out comes the sweep, or the scoop I should say. Straight into the action, Sophia Turner.
But also, you've only now got 5 balls left, didn't score off that over. Would it have been better to drop and run for a single and get runs on the board? As Tulloch comes in. Bowls, and she stays strong on this one, and that's driven down the ground. Straight to long off, but they'll get the single from it.
And the scoop's not a bad option. Third is up, fine leg is up. If you can get enough pace on the ball, which Poppy Tulloch does, quick bowler, if you can just try and ramp it over that in the inner circle.
Yeah, I think the problem was she went down so early that Poppy Tulloch saw it coming and she just followed her. She was like, okay, then I'm going to make your life really difficult. Just the one off it so far. Bobby Tulloch, 2 of 22. Matter of 4 balls remaining. Tulloch is in to bowl past the umpire. Full length delivery, and this is just guided round to Naomi Datani, who square the wicket on the offside, and they'll get the one. There's some cheers somewhere. Some Durham fans are getting rather vocal.
Rather rowdy down there.
Yeah, pick where they are. Lots of kids in today, lots of families as it's a weekend. Nice to see. And Tulloch, again, 3 overs left of this over. 3 balls, sorry. And this is driven back down past her. Nancy Harmon doing some more work there, long off. Keeping it very tight here, just 1 a ball.
And again, bowling nicely to her field. Got the 3 out on the leg side. Yes, Grace Thompson, or Sophia Turner, I should say, gave herself a little bit of room, came outside leg stump, but full and straight, and could only push it back down to Nancy Harmon at long off.
2 balls remaining. Can Durham get to 130? As Tulloch is in and bowls, and this is up in the air. Can it be caught? No, it's dropped safely behind the wickets, and it's just going to run away. Is it going to be caught? I think they did some good work on the boundary there. Saved the 4.
Excellent work.
Yeah, Bex Tyson doing a bit of ducking and diving over that far boundary, right in front of the Colin Ingleby Mackenzie stand. A bit of help there from Naomi Datani. Saved the 1 run. They're now on 127 for 7. Bobby Tulloch standing at the top of her mark. 1 ball left of the entire Durham innings. And she's in, and the crowd starts clapping in anticipation. She tried to go for the ramp shot, and it's dropped safely. Looked as if it might carry to a fielder, but not quite. And that has brought up the end of the Durham innings. They are 128 for 7. They did win the toss and decide to bat, and we will see after the Hampshire innings whether that was a good decision or not. Under quite a cloudy sky now, but we opened the wickets with Holly Armitage being bowled by Bex Tyson off 7, and she went 10 for 1. Then Maddie Villiers followed, being bowled by Datani, middle stump cartwheeling away, 14 for 2. Bess Heath and Emily Windsor then created quite the partnership, but Bess Heath was bowled and caught in the back by Southby off 18. She went for 62 for 3, and Windsor following her. No runs scored later. She went for 30 and 62 for 4. And then Mia Rogers and Grace Thompson started building another partnership, but Mia Rogers went for 96 for 5. She only scored 14 off 22. And then who was that? It was Heather Graham, went for 19, 98 for 6, bowled by Tulloch, caught by Adams. And then finishing off the wickets by Fraser, 121 for 6. She went for 16. And we are going to take a very short break. Myself and Tom will join you back on in a moment. And it has, thank you, Tom. She's just handed me quite the amazing breaking news that may be flashing up on the whole of your BBC Sport apps, that Ben Stokes has announced his retirement from international cricket.
Wow.
It's quite a remarkable moment. He takes a wicket moments after his shock retirement announcement. I do believe he may have announced it. Are they at tea?
Yeah.
That is quite remarkable. He's leaving. He's retiring. Quite the remarkable cricketer. Has had a lot going on in his cricketing life, in his personal life, in his off the field life, and I'm not quite sure when that will be, but I don't know if it's with immediate effect.
End of this 3rd test.
Well, there you go. This will be his final test.
That's a bombshell to head into the run chase for you.
Isn't it? Interesting moment to announce. But, as we say, we will take a very short break, and we will be back shortly for you to allow us all to digest that information. Ben Stokes retiring after this 3rd wicket. But, with news here, it is 128 for 7, and Hampshire will come out to look to chase that score.
The Thatcher's family farm. Making cider with nothing but love. And skills. Delivering perfection for over a century.
"25 years of flight. The Hawks are back. Come fly with us."
Doesn't even have to run. He's been waiting for the square cut. He plays it beautifully. Nice personal milestone for Robin Smith. He's
in a memorable game. Hampshire have taken this game with 153 batting firsts.
Right away, Peterson's gone.
Shane Warne once again been quite brilliant. Changed the game.
Yes, it does. There it is. That means that Hampshire are the winners of the Friends Provident Trophy 2000.
He can't get there, and Hampshire Royals have done it. The scores.
The Southern Vipers have won the inaugural Kia Super League.
100 from Wiley Rousseau, a moment to remember. Been an innings of real quality for Hampshire.
Get themselves over the line emphatically to defeat the reigning champions, Hampshire.
That's what you've got. That is what you've got. Ripped to Yorker through. Past the Gleason. Hampshire.
Oh my word! It's the biggest of the lot.
of the Thatcher's family farm. Making cider with nothing but love and skills. Delivering perfection for over a century.
Holly Armitage leading out Durham.
Well, hello and welcome back to our Hampshire versus Durham Women's T20 Blast at the Utilita Bowl today here at Sunday. My name is Amelia Clark. I'm joined by Tom Wilkinson, and we were just trying to digest the news that we heard that England international and current captain Ben Stokes has announced his retirement from international cricket after this third test. Tom, your thoughts on this?
Ultimately, probably not the most surprising decision in the world, considering what's gone on over the last fortnight or so. A shame. I don't think there are many England fans that were hoping this was the outcome of what's gone on, and it will be, like we just mentioned off mic, a big rebuilding phase, because you don't know who the captain's going to be. You doubt that somebody like Joe Root would take it on a permanent basis once again. So is it Harry Brook? Is it somebody else? A lot of decisions that will have to be made. Brendan McCullum part of that as well, of course.
Hampshire require 129 runs to win.
So the target, 129 for the Hampshire Hawks. Maya Bouchier opening up with Georgia Adams, and Bouchier, well, talk about a little bit of a spike in form after being left out of the World Cup squad. Only played 4 matches in the Blast so far, but 215 runs at an average of 71, striking at just under 145. If she gets going in these early few overs in the power play, this chase could be over and done with very quickly.
Yeah, don't even get me started on the fact that she's not playing for England at the moment. Much to the delight of Hampshire fans, I imagine, but for herself, craziness. So Johnson in and bowls, and this has gone down as a wide. Slipping down leg side. Yeah, Maya Bouchier should be playing for England at the moment. The form she's in, the different ways that she can play, the different disciplines that she plays in. She's a fantastic batter. I think last season she never quite got the form going as much as she has this year, but hopefully we see a continuation of that for her as Johnson is in again and bowls, and this is swept away onto the leg side by Bouchier. They'll take just the one. Easy single there. As the wind is starting to pick up here at the Utilita Bowl. Cloud covering. We've got a plane that looks like it's just drifting into Southampton Airport. It's not too far away from us at all here.
Not a bad vantage point.
No, it's not bad at all. I've been here for the men's 4-day games, and I can't say we haven't played Guess the Plane brand. Johnson comes in again over the wicket. Bowls, and this is driven leg side. They're going to go for a quick one here, and Maya Bouchier is just getting in safely. Of course, the last... Oh, sorry, excuse me, that was Georgia Adams. Well, the last match they played, both of them fell victim to run-outs, so they'll hopefully not repeat that today. But they bat well together. They've batted a lot together in the past. As Johnson is in, and Bouchier's on strike, and this is guided onto the offside, bounces safely, and Adams made sure she was back well in her crease.
For a moment there, Maya Bouchier's heart may have just been in her mouth. Didn't quite time that brilliantly, dropping just short of mid-on, and when she got off the mark, she didn't time it brilliantly into the leg side either, that pull shot.
Yeah, and unfortunately Maya Bouchier has fallen a few times to just those slight mistime kind of gift easy catches to those in the covers, as this one is slipping down leg side again, and Maya Bouchier just watches it roll past her. It's an interesting decision. We decided from Durham to bat first, but the cloud cover has come in, so will that help their bowling attack? Hampshire are 4 for no loss so far. We've got Maya Boucher and Georgia Adams, captain, out there in the middle. Boucher on strike, just retaking her guard, I think, slightly, just not quite happy with maybe where she was originally. Johnson looking to come in again. She's kept this over nice and tight, as it's a slightly shorter delivery, and that's worked off the hips. Square of the wicket on the leg side. They got the 1, they look for 2, but Adams says no. She wants to rebuild her innings again.
It's interesting when you look at the stats as well. The Hampshire Hawks have batted first 3 times, won all of those, and when they've chased, obviously they were put into bat by Durham. They've only won 1 of those 4 times they chased, 2 of them being ties.
Absolutely, as Johnson comes in, and this is again worked off the hips by Adams. Yes, I think the Hampshire social media were doing quite an entertaining little bit on the fact that Georgia Adams didn't have much luck winning tosses for a while, and then all of a sudden I think she won 3 or 4 in a row, and yeah, every time I think they chose to field. But today she did unfortunately lose the toss. Durham won and chose to bat, as Johnson comes in to finish her over off. Gets squirted into the leg side. They go for the 1, they look for the 2. Adams, there's a mix up in the middle. Adams is going to have to chase all the way back. Bit of an overthrow there. Big shout from no from Maya Boucher. Right decision. Was in the fielder's hands by the time she was turning and running. Bit of a dangerous move there by Adams.
Yeah, Georgia Adams fancied that second. From our vantage point, no way there was a second run there. So that would have been back-to-back run-outs for Georgia Adams. And
well, I don't know if it would have been her run-out or Maya Boucher run-out. And I think Boucher was the one that ran her out last time. So I don't think Adams is vindictive at all. But if she was going to be, she'd be like, yeah, go on, Maya, you can make that. That's no issue.
Tidy start, though, from Judy Johnson. 7 off the first over. Maddie Villiers will take the second from the pavilion end. It will be Maya Boucher on strike, like we said, in fantastic form, not just in 20 over cricket, but in 50 over cricket as well. That unbeaten century in the last Metrobank game, that 10 wicket win alongside Ellen McCacken, who of course is off on England A duty with Abby Norgrove.
The two of them watching Maya Boucher and Ellen McCacken just bat the whole thing out was remarkable. I think that's pretty much the only time I've ever seen that happen. No wickets, stood out there in the middle and just played together.
So Villiers in to Boucher first ball, and this is punched down towards mid-off, and there'll be no run there. It'll be interesting to see how the top order of the Hawks in particular play this. Do you just try and knock it around, consolidate, or do you try and accelerate, get the net run rate high as Boucher advances down the track and works this down towards long on? Easy single for Maya Boucher to turn it over and hand it to her captain, Georgia Adams.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. I think at the moment, by the way that especially Maya Boucher is playing, I think Adams will always play the slightly more kind of long game, whereas Boucher likes to go out and hit big. I think the plan here is just, well, let's see if we can close this out together. There's no rush.
Georgia Adams pulls this in between square leg and 45, and that'll be the first boundary for the Hawks skipper. Got into position quickly, picked up length quickly, punishes Maddie Villiers into the leg side.
Yeah, too short there. Adams saw that one coming. It was the right thing to do. Just attack on the slightly easier balls, punish Durham for any wayward bowls there, and yeah, Adams moves on.
And we're speaking about the strike rate of these two. Georgia Adams so far this season striking at 112 compared to the 140. Pulled again, this time aerial, and that'll race away for 4 as well. So Georgia Adams clearly in a bit of a hurry here. Back-to-back boundaries, 10 from her first 4 deliveries, and taking a liking to Maddie Villiers straight away.
Well, they're completely going against what I just said about Boucher going out and hitting big and Adams being the slightly more cautious one. Looks as if they've swapped roles today, but yeah, Adams doing the right thing here.
So what's the response, Maddie Villiers? This one outside off stump, just pushed into the offside, no run there. Maya Boucher was looking for the single, but it wasn't quite there.
I think there's no rush here. They're chasing down 128. They've already got 16 for no loss. Comfortable positioning at the moment. A few being pushed out maybe on the leg side where Adams had squeezed a few earlier.
Final ball in Maddie Villiers' first over. Tickled into the leg side by Georgia Adams. It'll be an easy single down towards deep mid-wicket. 10 from Maddie Villiers' first, 17 for none. The score for the Hampshire Hawks after 2.
Well, they will be incredibly happy with this start. See, Durham lost their first for 10 for 1, and Hampshire are yet to lose a wicket, 17 for no loss. Music seems to have gotten louder. There seems to be they're trying to create a party down here in the Utilita Bowl.
Chasing us with the speakers, perhaps.
Yeah, indeed. There's quite a bit of cloud cover. We are looking through almost sort of darkened glass to save us from the bright sunlight when it is there, but it does make these clouds look a bit more ominous than maybe they are. As Johnson's going to come in again from the hotel end. And this is outside of stump, almost just flying over the wide line, but Adams just whipping her wrist through that one. Didn't get anything on it, but a little bit careless there.
She feels she missed out on that one. Short, wide, was maybe looking at the umpire for a wide. Really threw her hands at that one.
As everyone is up on the offside for Adams, as Johnson comes in again, creeping in, and this is pushed through, and she's found the gap, and that will go for 4. Slowing up slightly, can the fielder get there? No, unfortunately, did get there, but I think she took it over with her.
It's tight. They'll run 3 anyway. It was really nicely played by Georgia Adams, found the gap perfectly. I think that is going to be 3 rather than 4, so excellent work there down at the
very good work.
Square boundary.
It did look as if she'd... Yeah, it should have been a 4, I'm being told, but I think there's just a little bit of discussion with the umpire. I think they're deciding which way it's going to be.
Just having a word here.
They are. They're having a full-on discussion. Umpire. I think that's Kylie White has deemed it no. I think she's now talking to the fielder.
I think we are going to cross, and we are going to give this as 4 runs.
Yep.
And that should be Georgia Adams back on strike, and they do cross.
Been given for 4. I was going to say, it sort of jutted off, and watching it on the stream, it was definitely 4. But no, I like the honesty, I think, that came from one of the Durham players. I think she just said, yeah, no, I did. Maybe take it over with me. Hampshire 21 for no loss. Johnson in again. Good delivery there. Adams just blocks that one back.
And the advantage for Maya Boucher of Georgia Adams having this lightning start, 15 from 9 deliveries, it completely frees Boucher up. There's now no real need for her to go on the aggressive, and she can play completely her natural game, which albeit is fairly aggressive anyway.
Absolutely. I do think Hampshire, you know, they rely on Maya Boucher to be this big hitter very frequently, and it's nice to see that Adams is doing the same, as they're going to run through for a single here. And yeah, it's nice to see that the kind of roles have reversed. Boucher, as you say, can be free. She can hit the big when she wants to, but there isn't that pressure to say you need to go out and make a big score right away. I'm sure that will come. But actually, yeah, she's been on 4 off 6 deliveries for a while. Hampshire 22 for no loss. The target is 129. Johnson in once more, full delivery, and this is just work down the ground. No run, straight to the fielder. Bowling well is Johnson to her field.
Kept it a little low, perhaps, that one. Right off the bottom of the bat from Maya Boucher. She drove it, but not quite timed. Not out of the middle, like we said, down to mid-off.
Well, the current run rate is 7.8 and the required is 6.2, so Hampshire well within that required run rate needed as Johnson comes in, and this is just worked through, and Boucher's found the gap on the offside, and that's just gone rolling over the boundary line, and that's exactly what she wants to do. Just wait for the slightly wider, slightly shorter ball and punish Durham for it.
All class, pure class. Just punched off the back foot, easy as you like. First boundary from Maya Boucher, 8 from 8 so far. She's watched a lot of her skipper at the other end. Just timed that perfectly through the covers.
Indeed. I think Kevin, James and I had a lot of conversations about this last year, and I've still heard him say it a lot this year. She just makes it look so easy, and I think in the past sometimes she's almost found it too easy, and that's when concentration slips. But this year everything seems to be moving so well, and yeah, she just makes it look so incredibly easy out there. It's all the time in the world, doesn't really need to put too much on it, just places it where she wants it and it goes.
So bowling change, Katie Levick now to Georgia Adams, who advances down the track, back over the bowler's head. Once again, Georgia Adams on the move, in the groove here.
Georgia Adams going at quite some rate here, 20 off 11. Definitely wanting to lead from the front, get her team in a good position.
That's what we saw a lot in the Durham innings, the use of the feet, getting down the pitch. Doesn't look like there's a lot of pace in the wicket, not too much bounce either, trying to meet it on the full, give yourself a best opportunity as Levick now opens the face. Georgia Adams, but can only find backward point. That is a dot ball. So 30 without loss. The run rate now below 6, so it's less than a run a ball already. We've only had 3 overs and 2 deliveries, and that's the beneficiary of having that fast start. Take a little bit of pressure off if things do go awry. Georgia Adams gives herself some room outside, leg stump, finds the gap through the covers perfectly. Will this race away for 4? I don't think so, just stopping up. They're going to come back for a couple. Georgia Adams thinking about the third, but Maya Boucher only just getting back.
Yeah, it just slowed up on that outfield, so interesting to see that outfield as we look at it to the right, just maybe a touch wider and a little bit slower.
She looks really busy here, Georgia Adams again, opens the face, cut down, but straight to backward point. Maya Boucher just needs to be careful she doesn't get run out at the non-striker's end.
Yeah, it was a great bit of fielding there. Not quite sure who it was, I just can't see the number, but one bounce, confident stop.
Sweep this time on the pad. Katie Levick really likes it, but umpire not interested one bit.
I think it was just outside. Adams down on one knee, and I think it was just outside of off stump. Got to be careful here.
I think probably just sliding down the leg side, you would think. Better from Katie Levick. Sweep shot again from Georgia Adams. Doesn't time it either. I think that one off the pad as well. So 2 dot balls to complete the over. Just 6 from Katie Levick's first. 32 for none the score for Hampshire Hawks after the first 4. Maya Boucher with 8 from 8. Georgia Adams 22 from 16.
So we're already under the 100 needed. 129 is the required score that Hampshire are chasing. They are currently on 32, so well under 100 that they need to get already. We're going to have Catherine Fraser come in from this hotel end. First change of bowling after 4 overs. 32 for no loss. Maya Boucher, 8 off 8 is there, and she's going to block that one back sort of into the ground as it juts up nice and high, and Fraser will do her own fielding off that ball. Straight to the top of her mark, absolutely no hanging around. And she's back in. Boucher, no time to think here. Using her feet though, and it's gone up and over the head of Fraser, and that looked absolutely stunning. She made that look incredibly easy. Flew away for 4.
Broken record, down the pitch again. Maya Boucher this time. Mid-on is up, or mid-off is up I should say, so that's the area. If you can try and get down the pitch. Met it on the full, low full toss. It was slightly wide of mid-off, but no matter, comfortable boundary for Maya Boucher.
Indeed, that takes her to 12 off 10. Adams still racing ahead on 22 off 16. Fraser will. Boucher be looking to go again. Just drives this one down the ground, happy to take the single. It's good to see. It's good to see from Boucher. She's in no rush. Happy to just keep rotating strike with Adams. Those two love batting together. A few in the crowd, starting to get some cheers and chants started. So Fraser's in again. Just worked onto the leg side, but straight to the fielder, square of the wicket. Adams says no.
It is interesting to see how this will play out. Georgia Adams deputising, of course, because Ella McCacken away with England Day opening up.
As Fraser once more in again, and this one not quite going where I think Adams wanted to. It kind of caught an edge and jutted off behind her. Yeah, very interesting. So she's up one place in the order, as you say, because McCacken is off on England Day duty, but good to see. She seems to be enjoying her opening batting out there. This one up high, and it's going to be caught. Adams is out. Square of the wicket on the offside. Caught an edge, didn't quite get that ball as much as she would have liked. And the captain will have to go.
Yeah, she's had a couple of 30s so far opening up, but this time after a flying start, just stalling a little bit down the track. The thick outside edge, easy catch, fought backward point, and that is the first Hampshire Hawks wicket, 37 for 1. It'll be Naomi Datani that will join Maya Bouchier out there. Georgia Adams 22 from 19 deliveries.
Yeah, shame really, because she looked like she was going really well, but maybe just, it was that over before when she tried to sweep twice, and it was maybe just, is she too confident, is she too comfortable, is there something not quite going just as she would have felt, and that one maybe just threw her hands through it a bit too much, and yeah, just caught that edge, and as soon as it was up in the air you thought that fielder's not going to lose that.
It just looked like she tried to overhit it a little bit. Decent catch from Trudy Johnson there at backward point. Important wicket to get the captain gone. Like I said, we'll bring Naomi Datani in. And Georgia Adams deputising has done, I think she's done a good job at the top of the order. Last year, of course, it was Rihanna Southby who filled that role alongside Elise Perry for the majority of the Blast campaign, with Maya Bouchier away on international duty, and also the injury that was picked up for Ella McCacken after her incredible start.
Absolutely, and you have to admit, even with a lot of their team, their first team away on other duties, they still bat deep to Hampshire.
So Heather Graham in for the first time, leading wicket taker for Durham in the Blast so far this season. As Bouchier just opens the face and runs that down to short third, and there is no run. 12 wickets at 13 for Heather Graham so far in the Blast. Maddie Villiers with 11 at 13 as well, then Katie Levick with 9. You have got two very strong bowling attacks as in comes Heather Graham once more. Back for length, punched off the back foot from Maya Bouchier. Going to look for a couple, but deep cover will pick that one up fairly easily. And we'll bring Naomi Datani on strike for the first time.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that we've got to remember, that Hampshire and Durham have played 3 times already in this competition. This is the 4th, and Hampshire are yet to win. So even though 129 does not sound like a massive score, you're still playing a really tough team. You're playing the second team in this table. They're only 1 point behind you. Hampshire can't get too comfortable here.
Heather Graham in once more. Naomi Datani first ball. It's just pushed back past the bowler. A run down towards mid-on for no run. But yeah, losing by 32 runs at the Riverside earlier on this season, and then last season Durham winning by 5 wickets at Arundel, and also by, or that was at the Riverside I should say, winning by 1 run on Duckworth Lewis Stern at Arundel. So this is actually the first time these two sides have met in the Vitality Blast at the Utilita Bowl. As Heather Graham comes in once more to Datani, throws her hands at that one, goes for the drive, misses it, keeper doesn't pick it up. It'll be another dot ball.
Yeah, Datani here just needs to get in, just get comfortable. Needs to just find some early singles, but to be fair, Datani is known for coming in and hitting a nice big boundary off the first couple of balls, but here I think Hampshire would just like her to stay in, build this partnership with Bouchier.
Heather Graham in once more. This one tucked into the leg side and be able to steal a single from mid-wicket, who has a little bit of fumble on that one, and means that there's no danger whatsoever for Datani or Bouchier coming through. And yeah, Naomi Datani, 5 innings so far this season, 90 runs at 22.5, strike rate of 115. The kind of person that, with Abby Norgrove not in the side, who works well as that number 3 kind of anchor role throughout the innings. Datani, feel with how she played so far this season, could be that solid role to just try and take it through.
Yeah, I have to admit, I've been really impressed by Datani, both when she's just been playing and when she's been captaining.
Good over so far from Graham, and that will continue as it's a dot ball by Bouchier, tries to advance down the track. Thick inside edge into her pads, and there'll be no run. So 39 for 1 the score at the end of the power play. Hampshire Hawks actually finding themselves 4 runs behind where Durham were. Conversely, 39 for 1 plays 43 for 2. But we saw how the squeeze was really employed by the Hampshire spinners in particular in those middle overs once the partnership of Bessie and Emily Windsor was broken.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Bouchier, just as she was trying to advance down the track, I don't know whether the ball or the bat hit her foot, but she just seemed to be limping just a little bit. She went to meet Datani in the middle, but seemed to have shaken that off now after their conversation.
A really good over, I have to say that from Heather Graham. Just the 2 runs coming from it. Looks like it's going to be... Is that Catherine Fraser again to continue? I believe so.
Yes. Yes, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's quite cold up here. 23 degrees, cloudy, a little bit of a breeze. as sorry, this is my over, isn't it? As Statani, they're thinking about 2, but just takes the single. Moves on to 40 for 1. Nice strike there. Fraser keeping this very tight from the hotel end here. Just looking around, seeing a nice view of the food venues still open, queues during the short interval, and including some kind of car sponsorship. We've got a few very nice snazzy cars sat on the forecourt in between the nursery ground as Fraser comes in again. This is whipped away by Maya Bouchier, but there is someone right down on the boundary and they've just saved it right down in front of us. I can attest to that one is not a 4. Good bit of fielding down there.
Heather Graham down there almost swimming to try and keep that one inside the boundary ropes. Powerful shot that from Maya Bouchier.
Don't think she knew exactly where that ball was all the time, but she did a really good job to keep it out. Keep it in, I should say. Fraser. This one up in the air from Bouchier, but it's cleared the ropes beautifully. And that is a huge 6 on the leg side for Maya Bouchier.
There we go. Big slog sweep from outside off stump. Maya Bouchier lining that one up. That's the power that she possesses. Saw it in that previous delivery, the flat back down the ground to long on. Drag that, come over to my side from outside off stump.
Yeah, I do think it was quite clear to see that the plan was maybe let Adams go out and have a big whack and see what happens, and then Maya Bouchier can sort of take over afterwards, which she absolutely has done. But nice to see that she's just, again, resetting, just happy to take the single down to long off.
Because you've got what you need from this over realistically as well.
Yeah.
You've got 10 runs from this over. That is comfortably above the required rate. That is back now to exactly a run a ball. It's just about keeping that scoreboard ticking over.
Fraser round the wicket to Tatani, who blocks this one. Field very much trying to get in the heads of both Tatani and Bouchier, but not quite working yet. One more ball left as Fraser comes in. Just a slightly shorter delivery, and Tatani doesn't quite get the edge of that. Bottom of the bat bounces off in front of her, and that will bring up the end of the over. It's 49 for 1. We've had 7 overs, and the Hampshire require 80 runs off 13 overs.
And the problem that Durham have got is, once you get through this top order of the Hampshire Hawks, it's quite relentless when you get down to Rihanna Southwood, who's in really good touch at the moment, striking at over 150. Nancy Harmon in brilliant form as well.
Amanda J. Wellington can carry a bat really well.
So you've got a lot of power in that lower order.
Yeah, it's what we were saying earlier, really, that kind of their whole first team is off doing other amazing things, and the team that's left is still remarkably strong. And to be at the top of the table with a lot of your players off on England duty, England A duty, and still be very strong is quite a remarkable place to be.
So another bowling change, Sophia Turner into the attack towards Maya Bouchier, and this is just worked defensively back towards the bowler for no run. And we saw an example of that, didn't we, a couple of days ago, Nancy Harmon in particular. Real impetus at the end of that innings, 27 from just 14 deliveries, a lot of power in there, really strong finisher, really strong closer out, can accelerate and go through the gears very quickly in the latter stages of an innings.
Yeah, indeed, it is quite remarkable how well they do that.
Turner in once more to Maya Bouchier, who advances, flat bats this down the ground, gets absolutely nowhere near the middle of the bat, clothed it. If mid-on was up, Maya Bouchier would have been packing her bags. As it is, mid-on was back, and it is an easy single. And that brings up the Hampshire Hawks 50, going from 7 overs and 2 balls. Maya Bouchier with 24 now from 19 deliveries.
Yeah, come along very quickly. I mean, in comparison, we had Durham 62 for 3 at a slightly even later position here, so Hampshire moving on at a very quick speed here.
Turner to Datani, who pushes this one out into the offside, able to scramble through for another single. There with Datani, struggled to get going so far, just 3 from 7 deliveries at the moment, but can be very happy to play second fiddle at this stage to Maya Bouchier, who is set now, 24 from 19. Watch their captain go out like a train with those early boundaries.
Yeah, Datani doesn't seem like she's just timing things quite right today so far, but I'm sure that will come.
Bouchier tries to heave this into the leg side. Whether that's come off the thigh pad or a bit of inside edge, he's going to run away down to the third boundary for 4. Giving us runs. The thick inside edge must have been there from Maya Bouchier. Profiteering from that one. They've taken out to 28.
Yeah, it takes Hampshire to 55 for 1. They are... Yeah, it was a big thick outside edge there from Boucher.
Yeah, just didn't quite bounce as much as he was potentially anticipating there. But no matter, 4 runs down to third, and back in now Turner. This is punched off the back foot. That's placed really nicely. Beats backward point, running around from the cover boundary, won't get there. So back-to-back boundaries from Maya Boucher. She begins just to stretch her legs a little bit now. 32 from 21.
Hampshire are closing on in their 60. I'm just laughing at Tom is enjoying a bit of Britney Spears, and I'm loving it. Bit of dancing going on there.
Can't not enjoy it.
Very true. Keep you warm up here as well.
So 10 from this over so far. 1 ball remaining of Sophia Turner's first. Maya Boucher with 32 now. Turner's in, this one back for length, opens the face, runs this down. Good stop though from the diving backward point. Datani was looking for the single but sent back by Maya Boucher strongly. And that will be the end of the 8th over. 59 for 1 the score.
I think it was the right decision. I think if they'd gone really early, then Datani may just have made it, but it went straight to the fielder. Although it was a bit of a misfield, there was another fielder stood practically straight on top of her, so it would have been a struggle, a direct hit, and Datani would have looked questionable there. So I think right decision to turn away. Hampshire 59 for 1. Datani's going to go back on strike. She's 3 off 7 balls, and Boucher 32 off 22.
20 from the last 2 overs. And that net run rate now back down comfortably below
this
a run a ball.
This partnership, 22 runs in 9 minutes, that said. That is remarkable.
She has started to go pedal to the metal.
Yeah, indeed. So, the bowling change that we're going to have up here is Graham from the hotel end. She bowls, and that's over the wicket, and they're just going to scamper through for 1. The field was very much back on that side for Datani.
Both looking busy, really looking busy. Boucher was desperate to come back for the second there, really looking for it.
Yeah, very happy for Datani to stay on strike as Boucher, but also I imagine quite happy to get on strike herself, move that score along. It doesn't feel like the scoreboard on the stream is just moving a little bit slow. That should now be, say, 60 for 1, and it's Maya Boucher on strike. And Datani is 4 for 7 as Graham comes in again. Oh, that's a bit of a swing and a miss there from Boucher as it carries through to the keeper. Just needs to remain calm here. Maybe just getting a little bit of a nip still in this pitch.
Hands on head there for Heather Graham. Unfortunate if you're the bowler, fortunate if you're the batter. That didn't go clattering into the stumps.
Potentially an edge. We haven't seen the replay for that one, but
I think just a big swing across the line. We saw her get that slog sweep earlier from outside off stump. Unable to pick it up on that occasion though.
So Graham in again. Boucher using her feet, and that's just off into the leg side. Go square of the wicket. They're happy to just take the single. Good to see from Hampshire. Keep that strike rotating. Brings Naomi Datani back on strike.
And that's good bowling from Heather Graham. Saw that Maya Boucher was coming, threw it in full on the pads, really restricting what Boucher could do as she came down the track.
Yeah, indeed, almost followed her there. Really moving that field. One of the Durham fielders currently to my left is outside the ropes. She's just taken a few steps in now, if she heard me there. And that's driven right back down to Graham by Datani. She'll do her own fielding with Graham, and that's a dot ball, 61 for 1.
A little bit of shape in perhaps on that one.
Yeah.
Just be from where we're standing.
I think
maybe just nip back a little bit.
I think Graham's getting the ball to do just a little bit of something. She comes in again, and this is, I guess, swing and a miss from Datani, so maybe that ball is just getting a little bit of movement through the seam. Especially maybe from this end. The wind is still quite strong out here, so maybe the ball's swinging a little bit. As Graham lines up again to come in for her final ball of this over. She's in to Datani, and that's a big full toss, and Datani really wasn't quite ready for that. She manages to just get a bat on it and sort of place it out on the offside, but there will be no run. 61 for 1 still. Hampshire needs 68 off of 11 runs.
Close to a wide. She left that alone. Not 100% sure where it was with the tram line, but definitely playing with fire a little bit. Could have got an extra run to take it to 62 and get a freebie as well. This has been good from Heather Graham. Really restricted Naomi Ditani in particular. 2 overs for just 4 runs for Heather Graham. As Maddie Villiers will return, bowled the second over of the innings. Pummeled for a couple of boundaries from Georgia Adams. 10 runs conceded from that one. It'll be Maya Bouchier on strike with 33 to her name. Bouchier deep in the crease, pulls this into the leg side for an easy single down towards deep mid-wicket. Brings Ditani back into the firing line effectively. Just hasn't looked totally comfortable early on here, Naomi Ditani. It is a difficult pitch, tricky pitch to bat on. We saw that in the Durham innings. Once you get going, it gets a little bit easier, but we saw Mia Rogers struggle to get going initially. Took 8 deliveries to get off the mark, but when she got going, did start to find the middle of the bat a little bit more.
I agree, and it's quite rare from Ditani really, because she's played very comfortably here before.
Cuts this through the vacant cover region out to fielder on the boundary. There'll be another single. Takes Ditani to 5 from 12 deliveries. Brings Bouchier back on strike, of course.
And of course, at the end of this over, we will be halfway through. Hampshire very much on their way. Almost halfway through.
Villiers to Bouchier, swept into the leg side. Goes straight to deep mid-wicket for another single. Just rotating the strike, accumulating. That's all you really need to do at this stage, that required rate. The entire innings really hovered around about a runner ball at the moment. 6.2, just over a runner ball at this stage.
And Maya Bouchier, if she's even looking at it, will be looking at that thinking, well, yeah, I can change that in a matter of moments.
And I wonder if we're about to have a change of ball.
It has gone clattering into a lot of the signage and the stairs and sort of a few areas around the ground, especially early on in both innings. But especially this one, yeah, it does look as though... Or are we getting a bit of physio?
I
think we're having a bit of physio, actually.
Holly Armitage had a little bit of a chat.
Yeah, and the physio seems to be going off. Hampshire will take a couple of drinks while they can. I think the umpires, you're right, were looking at that. There's some kids screaming somewhere. I thought it was a kettle boiling.
Yeah, it just looked like Holly Armitage wasn't particularly pleased with the ball as that one came back. Looked like the umpire was potentially gesticulating maybe to have a look at that one as well. But we continue as we were. Maddie Villiers bowling to Naomi Ditani. She gets almost up into the delivery stride and then pulled out of that one. The anticipation for this next delivery. 2 or 3 minutes coming.
Villiers has a big smile on her face after that one.
Ditani been forced to wait. Villiers in now, back for length and cut into the covers. Again, not timed brilliantly, just off the bottom of the bat. We'll run out for a single down to deep cover.
But really happy to see, actually, from a Hampshire point of view, that they are just so happy to rotate the strike, keep this moving. They're not, neither one is just sitting, waiting for boundaries. They're really happy to just let either one just keep moving that scoreboard on.
And you've got that middle order engine room as well. Maya Bouchier, slog sweep again, adding to the leg side. Nailed it again. Is it 6? Right on the line of the boundary rope.
4.
And I think that has gone all the way. Not 100% sure on that one. Timed it beautifully. 4
No,
this
4.
time, not 6.
I genuinely think it bounced about an inch in front of the boundary line.
Cracking shot once again. Onto off stump. Slog sweep out there, just landing inside the rope.
A great shot from Maya Bouchier. Takes her on to 39 off 27.
So 1 ball to go in Maddie Villiers' second over. 18 runs conceded total. 8 coming from her second. What has Bouchier got now? Deep in her crease and flat bats this down towards long on for a single. She will keep the strike. Halfway point reached in the Hampshire Hawks innings. It is 70-1 as Bouchier moves to 40.
And they are well over halfway in their chase for this 129 partnership. And of course, once you start getting to about 5 overs left, you do hope that your team starts really pushing on. So I would like to see them do this in under 10 overs, to be fair, if at the rate these two are going. Maybe Ditani just needs to still quite get her comfortable. It doesn't feel like she's fully in yet. Just needs maybe a boundary under her belt and it'll start making her comfortable. But Boucher very happy on 40 off 28. This partnership already created 33, so they're moving along very nicely, the two of them. Graham's going to carry on from this hotel end. That's in and bowls, and Boucher sends that all the way back to her, and the umpire just about dives out the way. A direct strike onto the stumps has taken, as we look at it, the right stump out, but my Boucher was well in her crease.
I think that's a drop catch. I think she slapped that straight back at Heather Graham, who stuck out her right mitt. Just ricocheted off it, unless it was a bump ball.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it was a bump.
It was on the full.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. We haven't seen a replay of that. It didn't look as though it jutted off as if there was a hand on it, but I could be wrong. It looked as though I think Graham was not quite sure. I think maybe trying to almost get out the way of it. But anyway, we're not going to see a replay, but they still survive as Graham comes in. That was a very nice shot from Ditani, who pushes back for 2.
Excellent running.
The first time as well, I would say that it actually looked like she really struck that ball really cleanly, really strongly. Good to see.
Before with how well she hit it.
Yeah.
Covers, crunched it past extra cover.
Hampshire moved to 73 for 1. As Graham comes back in from this hotel end, is over the wicket and bowls, and this is going down leg side, and Ditani's found the gap. A fantastic shot there, her first boundary. That will make her feel a little bit more comfortable.
Get that confidence, get the rhythm starting to flow. Finds that gap nicely, as you said, turning it round the corner past 45. And Graham, first boundary she's conceded. Yeah, into position quickly there again, Ditani.
So Hampshire moved to 77 for 1. Graham so far conceding 7 off of this over, with still 3 balls left to go at least. As this one's in, and this has just moved into the slight leg side. Massive overthrow, and they're going to run for 1 on that. The ball only jutted off from Ditani onto the offside by about, what, 2 strips, about 2 metres away. And whoever the fielder was has been sent right back to the boundary because the throw was so strong. It cleared the wickets and went right out past the inner circle. And they just escaped a single there. 78 for 1 brings my Boucher back on strike. Graham starting her run up in now. Coming in past the umpire. Bowls, and this is full and guided round by my Boucher, but it has found the fielder. They'll only get the 1 for it. Who's her on to 42.
Just a little bit of pressure now put on Heather Graham. Just 4 conceded from her first 2 overs, but 9 from the 5 she's bowled in her 3rd so far.
Hampshire move on to 79 for 1. Graham has at least 1 ball left in this over. Very much bringing up that offside for Ditani. Graham is in, and this is going almost for a wide, and Ditani swipes that away through the leg side for a 4. And Graham sort of thrashes her arms around as if to say, what more do I need to do?
Hit hard, pulled really hard from Naomi Ditani. And that takes her to a runnable 17 now, considering she was, I think, 4 off 11 or 5 off 12 at one stage. Just starting to find that rhythm, raced away to the boundary. Lovely shot.
And it was, as we said, as soon as she found that first strike confident on the ball, the boundaries have come. And Ditani looks like a new batter out there. She looks comfortable. And there's some kids looking absolutely ecstatic in all their Vitality Blast gear.
Absolutely loving it in the crowd. That's what you love to see. Good atmosphere.
Indeed, I think a lot of them were wearing those free T-shirts that were given out earlier. One girl does seem to be holding the 4 and 6 signage the other way around, as if she's giving 9 runs to one team, which I think Durham won't be too happy about at the moment. Graham, an expensive over for her.
Have to be a pretty terrible delivery to concede 9 runs. Katie Levick returns though, 1 over for 6 runs so far, as Maya Boucher again on the move down the track and just works this down towards long on for a single. Bring Ditani back on strike.
Yeah, Hampshire need 45 off 53 balls, and they've got 9 wickets in hand.
And that required rate, but was hovering just over 6 for the longest time. with some very profitable overs, now down just above 5. Like I said, just 45 now required for the Hawks. Then comes Levick again. Datani deep in the crease on the back foot, flat bats this down towards long on for a single. Rotating the strike, accumulating nicely, these two. Just found a good little rhythm. Boucher for a little while happy to play second fiddle as Datani found her feet and managed to get those boundaries away.
Yeah, it's really nice to see these two just working in such a nice partnership.
Katie Levick in once more. Goes back to that one, cuts it nicely through the covers. Beautiful placement again, Maya Boucher. Looks in such good nick. And as you said earlier, makes batting look effortless at times. That is the 50 partnership between Maya Boucher and Naomi Datani as well, coming from just 39 balls. Rocks back, powers it through the covers off the back foot.
I mean, that is not an easy shot to hit. That timing that is needed there, the precision to find that gap between 4 fielders, and she just made it look so easy.
Picking length very, very quickly, Maya Boucher. This time down the track. A little bit of an inside edge as she tries to work this to leg. And be careful we don't have any more overthrows, as we did a couple of overs ago. Maya Boucher remaining on strike though, no run. 47 to her name from 34 deliveries now. If she can get the extra few to take her to a half century, that would be her 3rd in 5 games in this competition. Deep in the crease again, pulled into the leg side for a single out towards deep mid-wicket.
Yeah, she's just 2 away from a certain big number, which I won't say because I don't like to jinx anything, but Hampshire are 90 for 1. Crowd here at the Utilita Bowl, gripped by this game. Happy to see their team doing well.
One ball to go to Katie Levick, and this is guided nicely by Naomi Datani. Not a lot of pace on it, it is easily picked up by backward point running round, but a comfortable single. And that will complete Katie Levick's 2nd over. She's bowled 2 for 14 so far. Hampshire Hawks 91 for 1 off 12.
We've got a bit of an ABBA remix going on. Everyone's having a little bit of a boogie. Also just to keep warm. And some kids in the crowd absolutely having a fabulous time down there. So 12 overs gone. Hampshire, well, their required rate has now dropped below 5. It's just under 5 and over. Might be a while. Maya Boucher has helmet off and ponytail undone. She's going to take her time here. Has been out there for 12 overs already, so.
Sophia Turner to return as well once we have the completion of this little interlude. Maya Boucher getting the helmet back on now. On over for 10, Sophie Turner bowled earlier on, replacing Heather Graham, who went for 13 in her last over.
Yeah, expensive last over, similar to the sort of and in time where Bex Tyson had her very expensive over. So yeah, good decision from Durham here. Change it up. Bring in your less expensive bowler. So she's going to come in around the wicket to Naomi Datani. That's full and driven back, and Maya Boucher had to do a big lunge to make sure she remained back in her crease at the non-striker's end. Datani remains 19 off 19. That's a good ball from Turner, just making sure Datani wasn't getting anything for free. As Turner comes in again, past the umpire and bowls. This is full and it's up in the air and it's flighted over the covers. It's going to run away. There is a person on the boundary and they've done a good job in keeping that out of the boundary line. But I think they are going to run for 3 and they are going to make it home safely. Some fantastic bit of running, some fantastic bit of fielding there. Great from both sides.
Yeah, really good work on the boundary. For a moment, Naomi Datani may have been a little bit worried. Big cut shot outside off stump, just over the head of backward point. Like I said, really good work on the boundary there to relay that one back.
And it does bring Maya Boucher on strike. Hampshire 94 for 1. Captain, yeah, captain and bowler having quite the discussion. Maybe a slight field change.
Yeah, square leg's going to come up and mid-off is going to go back. So Holly Armitage goes into cover. So the fielders all straight. So they're trying to stop Boucher from going down the ground. Opportunities perhaps square of the wicket.
As she's in over the wicket for Boucher, and this is just drilled into the offside. Boucher happy to take a single. No risk needed to be taken there. 49 off 35 moves Boucher. Hampshire need 34 or 45. 9 wickets in hand. So Turner, at least 3 balls left of her over. Still not too expensive. Comes in again, round the wicket for Datani. That's a full ball, almost Yorker length. Dust cloud pluming at Datani's feet as that one skidded through. A few shouts in the crowd, getting engaged for that one. 95 for 1. Comes in round the wicket again to Datani. This one pushed back. Turner will do her own fielding. No run scored. It's been a tight couple of balls here from Turner. Really nice to see. Only conceded 4 so far.
Just mixing the length up. Really full on the previous one. Now back of a length. Means that the batter can't line you up. You don't get predictable when you're just shuffling things around, and that's what you've got to be in white ball cricket. You've got to be unpredictable. You've got to switch things up. Otherwise, it becomes very easy for batters to line you up, predict what's going to happen, and hit you out of the park.
As Turner comes in, that's a full ball, and it's squirted through behind Datani. I don't think she meant to do that, but she has been given 4. I imagine that's going to be 4 leg byes there.
Yeah, 4 byes straight under the bat. Nothing that Mia Rogers could do there behind the stumps. Very full again. Unfortunate that one, you have to say, for Sophia Turner to complete what had been looking like a very strong over. Brings the score up to 99, so we watch it again. Really full.
Yeah.
And Mia Rogers, yeah, just very difficult when it's that late to get into position to pick that one up.
And that means that Hampshire need 30 off of 42 balls. 99 for 1. Yeah, but that last ball just missing Datani and the keeper, skimming through.
So discussion between the captain Holly Armitage and Maddie Villiers, who is returning once again. Maya Boucher on strike with 49 to her name. Maddie Villiers, 2 overs, none for 19 so far. That's worked easily into the leg side by Maya Boucher, looking for 2. Datani wants it. A little bit of confusion, but eventually sent back. And that is yet another half century for Maya Boucher. Brings up the Hampshire Hawks 100 as well. 350s in her last 5 innings in the Vitality Blast. That is some form.
And it brings up the Hampshire 100 as well. A big ball for Hampshire there.
Just the loss of 1 wicket. Maya Boucher looked in total control for the majority of it. 6 fours, 1 6. There's now Datani on strike. Opens the face, just tries to work this into the offside, but picked up by backward point and kept on strike. Required rate continuing to plummet now. 4.4 runs required and over the target, below 30 with that single off the previous ball from Maya Boucher. Looking like a comprehensive win, you would think, as that's missed everybody. Datani goes for the cut shot, missed by the keeper. A little bit of extra bounce there. Will it run away for 4, trying to pick it up? No.
That's gone.
Unable to get it on the boundary down there. Katie Levick trying to just loop that one back in. But a handy 4 byes there. Just looking at the replay of that. Really bit out of the surface, bounce, extra turn there, just gripped. Katie Levick unable to pull that one back in. The Datani continues on strike, 22 from 26 so far as Maddie Villiers in, short outside the off stump, cut powerfully, but will only find the fielder at deep cover. That will bring Maya Boucher back onto strike.
I think Hampshire have been lucky a couple of times here, had a few byes, just nipped past both. Actually, in both times, Datani and the keeper. Keeper obviously standing up, just not quite able to get a hand on them. Giving them what? Easily, with the last 2 I've seen, 8 byes. Just ticking that score even closer.
Change of field again from Holly Armitage, trying to plug the gaps on the offside this time. It's Maya Boucher back on strike, 50 from 36. 6 running over so far. Roxback cuts this, but straight to cover. Datani was looking for the single, but never in a million years were they going to get through for that one. Boucher remains on strike. 1 ball to go in Maddie Villiers' third over. Hampshire Hawks 105 for 1. 13.5. Down the track, Boucher launches this over towards long on. Is it going all the way? Yes, it does. Powerfully struck again, Boucher. For a moment, she thought she might have been a goner, but in the end, clearing the boundary rope by some distance. That is her second 6, takes her score to 56 from 38. The Hampshire Hawks from 14 overs now 111 for 1. Bit of Nelson action on the scoreboard.
Sorry, I was just watching a lady have just the dance of her life down there. But do you think your heart ever doesn't go in your mouth when it's like that? You know it.
Dot ball, 3 to go in this over. 6 runs required. Hampshire Hawks 1 hit away. Boucher down the track, launches this towards long on, and it's a good catch. And that'll be the end of Boucher.
She's furious with herself.
She does not take the Hawks over the line, holding out down towards long on. Good catch in the end. Had to be careful of the boundary rope right there. But another excellent performance from Boucher. 63 from 45, trying to win it with a 6, but just falling foul there at the field on the rope.
Yeah, I think she'd hit a 6 there earlier and it was fantastic, but it was tight as to whether that would get over or whether it could be caught. But yeah, it did feel like she just didn't quite get enough on that one for the 6. And as soon as it went up in the air, you could see that fielder had a point to prove and they wanted to get that catch. But a magnificent knock again from Boucher, who gets 63 off 44 balls. Crowd stands in their appreciation as she exit the field. Hampshire's job not done yet, but she's massively helped them over the line, or as near as yet.
So still 6 to win. Good catch, Sophia Turner it was down there. 7 4s and 2 6s for Boucher, striking 140 and almost getting the Hawks over the line. It'll be Francesca Sweet to come out at number 4 with 6 runs required for victory, and this will be a very big win for Hampshire Hawks as well. Already eclipsed their points tally in the Vitality Blast from last season, having played half as many games, but this would be 4 wins on the spin after only winning 1 of their opening 4 in the Vitality Blast 2026. So wicket for Katie Levick takes her up to 10 for the Vitality Blast season. 2 balls to go in this over. Sweet rocks back, tries to cut this, but I think off the bottom of the bat, or maybe a bit of glove involved, just drops down at her feet, picked up by Mia Rogers, and there is no run. Good over this from Katie Levick. Kept it tight, especially under pressure when it's down to single figures. Sweet advances, launches this into the leg side, couple of bounces towards the fielder at deep square. And that will be a single for Francesca Sweet to keep the strike. 3 from the over, tidy one from Katie Levick. 124 for 2. The Hawks need just 5.
So elsewhere, obviously England men are playing New Zealand. New Zealand have extended their lead over England past 350. I think the bigger news there is that Ben Stokes has announced his retirement from international cricket after this test.
Shock decision from the England skipper. We're handing the reins over to somebody else. Who that will be, we don't know. What's the future of Brendan McCullum as well, considering the relationship that those two have. Catherine Fraser to return though, bowling to Francesca Sweet.
Well, if you're joining us from BBC Radio Solent, welcome. We're at a pivotal moment. Hampshire are 125 for 2. We've just lost Boucher on 63 runs, but actually Hampshire only need 4 runs now. We have Naomi Datani and Francesca Sweet, and that one's just worked away as Fraser from Durham came in, and there's a chance of 2 runs here, a little bit of confusion, and they don't go for it. There's only the 1, 3 needed. Will they complete it off of this over? Naomi Datani 29 off 31 deliveries, and Francesca Sweet 1 off of 3. As Fraser comes in again, and this is worked away into the offside, and that's going to find the fielder, but they'll happily get 1. And that will bring Naomi Datani on strike. 2 needed. A fantastic day with ball and bat for Hampshire. Pick of the bat bowlers, while Tyson and Tulloch both got 2 wickets, and Datani and Adams got 1 each, as this one comes in and is driven down the ground. No run. And the pick of the batter so far has to be Maya Boucher on that 63. Bowled by Levitt, caught by Turner in the deep. As this ball comes in and it's up and it's driven, it's seemingly going to land safely, and it's going to go for 4, and that is it. That is the win. Datani has taken Hampshire over the line, and she has just got over 30, and that is the Hampshire Hawks win. They remain at top of the table. A fantastic win. It's the first time they've ever beat Durham in this competition, and they have done it emphatically. They've only lost 2 wickets. They get to their score very easily with 3 overs remaining. And Tom, what are your thoughts as we close out this game?
Very strong team performance. All round, looking like a very well-oiled machine. Maya Boucher with the bat, 63, more runs again for Maya Boucher. 3rd half century in 5 games. Expertly supported as well by Naomi Datani with 33 not out, and the wickets were shared also. Did a really good job after Durham had a fairly decent recovery after losing the 2 openers inside the first few overs. Really employed the squeeze once they broke what was looking like a promising partnership between Windsor and Heath. And from there, looked like it was Hampshire Hawks all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And just that batting, that opening batting with Adams, you know, really going ahead. And then Boucher just staying there, getting 63. It's a shame she had to depart, caught on the boundary with only 6 remaining. But it does mean that Hampshire remain top of the table. They have only lost, if I am right in thinking, only one match.
5 wins now, 2 ties and 1 defeat. That's
2 ties.
That defeat, of course, the reverse fixture at the Riverside against Durham earlier on. But Durham 128 for 7 in their 20 overs. Emily Windsor, former Southern Vipers player, the top scorer with 30 from 29. A brace apiece for Bex Tyson and Poppy Tullock. Naomi Datani, Georgia Adams also with a wicket apiece. And a very comfortable run chase.
Indeed.
From Boucher, Adams and Datani.
Just looking at the table, Hampshire are no longer top because the Blaze won today and they have not tied any of their games. They've won 6 and lost 1, so they are now 2 points ahead. But I don't think the scores have been added from today. So they should then jump ahead. So the Blaze and Hampshire, yeah, I think Hampshire will end up on top. So yeah, good to see. But thank you very much for joining us. If you are on BBC Radio Solent, I think you'll be going back to the other Hampshire men match today, and they are in action. But yes, thank you very much for joining us, and this is a Hampshire win for today at the Utilita Bowl. My name has been Amelia Clark, and we've got Tom Wilkinson. Thank you for joining us.
Well, Hampshire Hawks retain their spot at the top of the Vitality Blast table, thumping win by 8 wickets over Durham, and 1 key player in the first half of the game, especially Bex Tyson. What a win that is. I mean, first versus second, not often you win that game by 8 wickets.
Yeah, it was great. I think we bowled really well in the power play, like set the tone early on, put the pressure on, and yeah, bowlers bowled really well.
And 2 for 24 for you. You bowled well as well. Was that the sort of small birthday party you had here on Friday night?
Yeah.